Like I have a phone, like I have my camera, I have a car, I literally have a house I can sleep in, I have social media, I have connections, all this stuff. So I'm like, what's my excuse for not being successful? I did figure out you can get an IV of nutrients in you. Didn't even know that.
I just had Raphael and Juan. They have Superior Next Generation Spa, a little medical spa they opened up, and they do like IVs for people who are like hungover or just worked an entire weekend.
Yeah.
But
this episode is sponsored by Lucy. Say it with me,
no,
Lucy.
I didn't even know that
Look, we're all adults here, and I know some of us choose to use nicotine to relax, focus, or unwind after a long day. Lucy is a modern oral nicotine company that makes nicotine gum, lozenges, and pouches for adults who are looking for the best, most responsible way to consume their nicotine. It's a new year. Why not start it out by switching over to a nicotine product that you can feel good about? All my friends are trying to steal my little stash right here, but it's not going to happen. If you enjoy using nicotine, you should definitely check out Lucy's products at lucy.co. That's lucy.co, and use promo code THEWETSLAP at checkout for 20% off. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Remember, if you're interested in a better way to use nicotine, visit lucy.co and be sure to use that promo code THEWETSLAP at checkout for 20% off.
Dynamic. Yeah, you know audio engineer. I'm so sorry.
No, it's been so long that I've like done that stuff that I'm like, I used to want to be an audio engineer and like be a producer and everything, and I was like, nah, I can't. Like, I've been doing music for a long time, so like it's just I'm accustomed to it, but like to do it, to work with people.
This podcast is sponsored by BadBoyBacon. Much like a lot of my friends, I love crispy, juicy bacon that you see in those food influencer videos. Everyone wants that mouth-watering food vlog bacon, but unless you're Chef Gordon Ramsay, it's hard to make that quality bacon at home. Until now, with that BadBoyBacon Maker, you can have the same food influencer restaurant-style juicy, crispy bacon at home. Stack your bacon into the BadBoyBacon Maker and pop it in the microwave. In as little as 4 minutes, you will have straight, perfectly crispy, mouth-watering bacon. Forget pan cleanup. The BadBoyBacon Maker is made of the food-grade silicone material that's dishwasher safe. Now you'll never have to scrub that bacon grease out of your pan again. It's the quickest way to make bacon in the morning. Get yours at badboybacon.com. That's badboybacon.com. And you best believe I will be using this for my turkey bacon as well. Pop this bad boy in, clean it up real quick. Thanks for sponsoring the podcast, and back to the program.
No,
you don't like the collaboration part of it?
It's too much work. No, 100% is too much work. It's just like a lot of things. Like I used to do graphic design. I used to do obviously like a lot of things involving music, but it's kind of like I like to do it by myself. But when you involve other people, you're like, nah, I'm not doing this.
I totally get that. It took a lot for me. I still edit all the podcast clips, and I'll forever edit like my own like vlogs, quote unquote, whatever you want to call them, little movies.
Yeah.
I'll always edit those. I can't hand over my work to somebody else and have them change it unless they are a protege and I'm like, wow, their work. Like work.
I feel like you're probably somewhat of a perfectionist. The fact that you built your studio, I think that's more. I think that attests to you just because like you built your own thing, so you have an idea of like, okay, I know what I want already in general. Like most people, if they'd be like, oh, I want to build a studio, it would probably be white. Like everything would be white. I'm assuming everything would be like white, super basic, but you went the extra mile of. Besides putting like the sound panels and all that stuff, even like this wall right here,
pizzazz.
Like that's what I'm saying. Nobody, like most of the time, I feel like nobody would go that extra mile unless if they're very like, what's that one word? Detail oriented. In the end,
yes.
So I feel like that's you, 100%.
Man, we just met and you're already reading me, bro. That has helped me a lot with the things I've accomplished thus far in my lifetime.
Yeah,
but I've had to control it and tone it back and almost like tame it. Because if it's too much, it holds me back. But if I kind of let go a little bit of the detail-oriented stuff and the perfectionist like feeling, then that's when I'm actually able to be productive.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Lucy. Say it with me, Lucy. Look, we're all adults here, and I know some of us choose to use nicotine to relax, focus, or unwind after a long day. Lucy is a modern oral nicotine company that makes nicotine gum, lozenges, and pouches for adults who are looking for the best, most responsible way to consume their nicotine. It's a new year. Why not start it out by switching over to a nicotine product that you can feel good about? All my friends are trying to steal my little stash right here, but it's not going to happen. If you enjoy using nicotine, you should definitely check out Lucy's products at lucy.co. That's lucy.co, and use promo code THEWETSLAP at checkout for 20% off. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Remember, if you're interested in a better way to use nicotine, visit lucy.co and be sure to use that promo code THEWETSLAP at checkout for 20% off. Back to the program.
Yeah, I just feel like you have to be detail oriented because like you have a lot of people that just go through life kind of like meh. Like they'll kind of be like, hey, this is good enough. So like it separates the people that like people that are really detail oriented and go that extra mile are very much separated from a lot of the people that aren't because you see the detail, you see the little stuff. Like even for like your podcast or even photography or anything in general, like you can see when someone puts that extra mile of like, okay, they're little, like the little things. And then when you see someone kind of, are you allowed to curse?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, like
fuck this podcast.
Like almost half-ass something. Like it's kind of like when someone does that, you can definitely notice it. Like it happens all the time when people ask me about stuff. Like, what do you think about this? I'm like, it's all right. Like it's good, your base. But I was like, there's a lot of things you can just fix and do a lot of stuff better. So
yeah, no, I agree completely. And yeah, it's amazing meeting people who can relate to stuff like that because I have a lot of people ask me for advice with the podcast. Like they'll DM me or something like, hey man, starting a podcast, or I've been doing a podcast, like any advice. Do you have a passion? Do you like, is there a passion there? Do you enjoy doing it? I'll look and the clips are like super pixelated and stuff. It's like, what are you using to record?
it's probably something.
Yeah. And it's like, roll with the punches, man. It's not going to be perfect, but every day try to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. No, that's what I was telling you beforehand. I was like, the audio probably, that's how I know. I was like, once I saw the mics, I was like, okay, he has like, I was like, that's how you know, like 100%, like when someone knows certain things or they're like paying attention to a lot of it. Cause a lot of people, and they even talk about it like in the music industry too. They'll be like audio is super important and everything like that. Like you can tell the difference between like, I mean, there's like 20 million SoundCloud rappers now. But it's kind of like there's so many people that like mix and master their own stuff. But you know when someone like does it like well, if you know it, obviously, if you know it. And like someone that's kind of like, meh. Like you know 100% of the time.
Yeah. And everybody
like
starts somewhere.
But that's only like, that's if you know. I feel like that's only if you know. There's a lot of things in life where I feel like you would like, let's say this, no one would really know like oh, damn, they're using a shirt right now. Be like, no normal person's going to be like, oh my gosh. You're like, they're using a shirt. That's why they're quality. They're just seeing you talk and everything. They're like, oh, okay, this sounds good. And this looks presentable.
They see the product. They don't see the detail-oriented little things everywhere. They don't see, I probably put 40 hours into the podcast a week, and only one episode goes up a week. But it's producing that content, but then also it's scheduling.
You mean editing? You mean 40 hours?
So I spend 40 hours thinking and doing for the podcast. Editing, I have somebody who does the long form editing because the long form, bro, talk about madness.
I can only imagine.
Insanity. Like recording a podcast, talking for 2 hours, sitting there, watching and listening to yourself, talking for 2 hours after just having that conversation, going from camera angle to camera angle.
That's too much.
Now you're on 5 hours, right? And you're sitting there watching the conversation you just had. At this point, your eyes are bloodshot. There's tears coming down. You're becoming anorexic. You're labored breathing. You're sitting there and.
Well, it sounds like torture for you.
I know. It wasn't that bad. I was like, it.
No, I can only imagine. I was gonna say like I can only imagine, but then again, when I do like music videos, it's the same thing. Like you could ask like, now I understand why artists when they're done with a tour, they don't like to like play their songs anymore. They like to move on because when you listen to something again and again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, you're just like, all right, I'm done with this. And that's how it is when I like do music videos. Even though a song is like anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes, the fact that you have to constantly listen to it again and again and just like back and forth, like you just go back and forth with it. Like you can stick to the first 20 seconds of the song for like 20 minutes just because you're like adding clips, you're adding transitions or effects or something like that. So like, you will literally destroy that song in your own ear, like doing it. Like I love The Weeknd, but I feel like if I listen to like just one song like 1,500 times just to do a music video, I'd be like, all right, I'm done.
It would dry you out.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm done. I've told that to like some people that I've worked with. I'm just like, all right, I'm done with this song.
Yeah.
Like, I can't listen to it anymore. It's just too much. So a podcast that's like, especially like 2 hours long, that I feel like would be extraneous. That'd be like,
yeah. The way I described it was very animated and a little bit exaggerated, because there was times I did enjoy editing the episode, but doing it right after was kind of made me brain dead, especially when you have so many other things going on.
Do you feel like it depends on the person you have?
Yes.
That you enjoy?
Yeah, for
I
sure,
was like,
for sure.
that you like editing the podcast?
I've enjoyed everybody thus far, but there's episodes where the topics just excite me a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to be honest. I am just now kind of being around other people who do like video editing and just overall creatives, right? Because I've only been doing this for a year now. And my buddy Kenneth, the one who edits the podcast for me, he does music videos as well.
Shout out to you, Kenneth.
Shout out to you, Kenneth. Do you actually know Kenneth?
No, I don't, but
Okay.
I was about to say, I was like,
You know how it is.
don't worry, literally, I was like, editor. I was like, I already know
Yeah.
Kenneth.
Earlier the day, my mom, or early in that day, okay, let me explain this. My mom, I was editing in front of my mom, and mom was like, why are you listening to the same part over and over again? And then later that day, Kenneth is editing, and he's listening to the same part over and over again for, 9-10 minutes, trying to get that perfect transition or seeing what transition would work in this audio. And I just looked up and I'm like, whoa, I'm around somebody who gets it.
It's similar,
knows
literally.
it.
Like
Yeah.
they say like you should always surround yourself with like-minded people 100% of the time. Let me get some water right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll take a little sip too. That doesn't sound too bad.
But yeah, I feel like I don't drink enough water. I feel dehydrated all the time. But they say that you should surround yourself with like-minded people. So one of my friends, shout out to you, TJ. He's
Williams?
TJ Williams. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
do you know
he's
TJ?
the one that I knew of you because I've seen your work just on
okay.
Instagram. But TJ Williams, he's the one who I saw him like repost your stuff, and I was like,
Oh, okay. So you know of TJ.
Yes.
Yeah. So with TJ, like he's been like super focused on his music and everything. Like I've heard pretty much all his songs. It's great. It's so good. I was like, dang, bro. I'm like, you're gonna be making every woman fall in love with you. But literally, like, I was telling him, I was like, bro, you have like some good music and all this stuff. You have the good bass. I was like, you just need to surround yourself with people that are like you. Cause I was like, he's in college, he's studying and all that stuff. So obviously, and he's like, and he lives with a whole bunch of cool people. I met them on Saturday. But I told him, I was like, dude, none of them have the same, like necessarily idea or goal that you have with music and everything. A lot of them, like they either want to be doctors or something like that. But I'm like, bro, you need to surround yourself with people that are as like intensely in love with music as you, because not only does it encourage you, but it also like it inspires you to do a lot more things. Like with me, it's kind of like I have my friends or my circle of photographers or whatever it is that I like do stuff with, but like they're not the only ones. Like I surround myself with people that are like usually like they want to do more with their life. They're not just like, I want to do this. Oh, that's it. Or I want to take a pretty picture. Like the people that I connect well with are the people like, or I try to surround myself are people that are like, yo, I want to make $1 million. I want to start my own business. I want to do this. And it's like when you always surround yourself with people like that, like that starts like getting attached to you. You start becoming that in and of yourself. When they say like, what's that one word? Like, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. That's
I've heard that.
100% true. So what you were saying right now with like your editor and everything like that, when you like surround yourself with someone that like not only is interested like in what you do, because there's a lot of people that have shared interests, but the like when someone has the same like either tenacity or they're detail oriented or they're as passionate about something that you are, it changes everything. It makes it more enjoyable and the person can relate to you. So
yeah, bro. I was just having a conversation with my girl, and I'm 21.
Must be nice, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna mess around. Everybody on TikTok, every time I like go on TikTok, that's how it is. It'd be like when there's a video about a couple, they're like, "Must be nice, must be nice."
Must
I'm
be
like,
nice, my boy.
I know. I'm like, bro, just make your money. Don't worry about her right now. It's just funny, but continue.
Yeah. I'm 21 right now, and there's a couple friends who are close to me, and they like move out and getting that renting an apartment, overpaying for an apartment, or buying a car kind of outside their budget right now.
Yeah.
And I also think it's important to build a base, because my mindset is very. I'm shooting for a very large picture. The canvas is ginormous. I'm not painting this. My canvas isn't already filled up because there's so much white space right now. So when I'm 25, I want to have that LA home. I want to have that Texas home. I want to have. I want to be a nomad. I want to be going to Europe, weekly trips, creating content.
You actually want to go to California? You want to go to LA?
No.
I was about to say,
I want. No.
I was about to say,
Not now.
that's so expensive, man. 100%.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that have gone there.
Especially with what's going on right now. With
It's always
homeless
expensive.
people.
No, it's always expensive in LA. It could be
Yeah.
going through a shit storm or not. It still would be expensive.
Yeah. But just a home to reside in when I'm like, oh, I have to go there, or probably in the suburbs outside somewhere.
That'd be
that's
crazy.
how I like to roll.
I know of a photographer who used to live in LA, but then he was paying like, I think $6,000 or something or more for his place. And then what he did, he was like, why not just go to Hawaii and kind of pay almost around like the same amount?
Yeah.
Because he was like, I always travel. So it's kind of like, I'm not even in LA most of the time anyways. So that's what he did. He like moved his whole life to like Hawaii, bought his place there, built his house, all this stuff. And then like,
Hawaii.
yeah. And so he was like, when I come back home, at least I'm in Hawaii and everything like that. But that's when I'm home and all that stuff. But I love that, dude. Like 100%. That's one of my goals for this year too, to just like travel a lot.
Have you?
Just go somewhere. I've only been to like, I haven't been like to many places. I've been to like the base, like Dominican Republic, Jamaica. I think it was like Cancun or some crap like that. And then obviously like out of state stuff, North Carolina, South Carolina, New
Clearly,
York.
Cancun was a good one if you don't remember it. Something like
That one,
Cancun.
yeah, it's
I
just-
woke up on a plane.
It's literally, so the funny story is like, the reason why I even went there was because of a cruise. And it was because, like I used to like play guitar a lot. Like I still play it, but not like crazy. And so I was paid to go on a cruise to play guitar and everything like that. So it was a free
Ooh,
trip.
no way.
Yeah, it was a free trip and everything. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'll go. I was like, to go on a cruise for free and everything's covered just to play guitar. I was like,
Right.
that's cool. So that's why like,
What was your setup? Did you have like a little corner on the boat
they literally
where
just
you
wanted me
played?
to bring acoustic, and they like pretty much figured all that stuff out. Just had like a little corner, and then I was playing with other people. So like it wasn't like they were playing; it was just they were singing. So I was like literally like an acoustic set and all that. I mean, it was good, man. I enjoyed it a lot. I was like, dang, I should have done it again, but it was like one of those things. So that's why I just don't remember the place, just because like when we went to, I think it was Cancun, it was just like for like maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, when
like,
you get off the ship and you're only there for like...
and they're like, oh, be careful, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, don't get kidnapped or whatever it is. And you're just like, okay, cool. So that's where I've been. But like, definitely this summer, I'm planning, like, I really want to go to either Hawaii or London. Because one of my friends, they were like, hey, I'm going to Hawaii for a month. You can come if you want to. And then one of my brothers, he's in the Air Force. One of his best buddies, like he just had his wedding. He came and he's stationed in London, and he was like, hey man, if you ever want to come, he's like, just let me know and you can come to London. And I was like, yes, sir.
Ooh.
I was like, that might be like a pretty penny. But I was like, the fact that I don't need to pay anywhere to stay, like I already have someone to stay with, already probably cuts the cost of so many things.
Yes.
So I was like, when you said that, I was like, yes, I want to travel too, 100%. Like just go everywhere. I mean, I'm going to New York literally in like 3 weeks and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that should be fun.
Is New York still like... They have snow
100%.
over there?
No, it's just cold as hell.
Just
It's
cold as hell.
really cool. Like with me, I love the cold. Like I enjoy it just because like I feel like you can bundle, like you can keep bundling up for the cold.
But you
The
can't.
heat, you can only take off so much for the heat, man. I was like, I can take off my tank top, but like that's it. I'm gonna be shirtless, but like
Yeah.
nothing's gonna help. So I love New York. New York is like amazing. I was just there like probably last month. I think it was like 2 months ago. I think so. And it was super cold. I enjoyed it a lot. There was just one day where I just wore a sweater, just to wear a sweater, because I was like, I just want to feel this cold right now. It was dumb because like as the sun was setting, it was windy. It was really cold, but it's an amazing place. I recommend anybody going to like New York. New York is just a whole different vibe, 100%.
Yeah. The summer, especially in Florida, isn't good for fashion because you have no layers. I mean, you can...
Well, the thing is, Florida's interesting. So I kind of hate this state. It's weird to say, but like
Interesting.
I really do hate this state just because like with me being a photographer, especially like the state pretty much emphasizes on like bathing suits because Miami, like that's pretty much the main place for like a lot of the serious modeling or like photography work, Miami. But it's just
And
majority
the P,
of the time.
and the P word, right?
What's the B word?
Porn in Miami.
Oh,
There's a lot of porn in Miami.
Dude, I have no idea. That I wouldn't even be surprised. I know literally a model that like has. I know multiple models that have like sugar daddies and just
right. OF.
all that stuff. Yeah, OnlyFans, all that stuff.
No, I would do it.
Be like, hey man, you know, at this point, if you're making 50 grand a month, just literally post a picture of your ass. Right. At this point, just
it doesn't even have to be revealing. People are so scared of OnlyFans. It's like a lot of girls don't do any revealing things. It's just like.
Well, this is the interesting thing about it. So this is not really a TMI, but this is more of like a funny story. So there was a girl that I was linking up with, and literally like she didn't have an OnlyFans, but she like was kind of well known, all this other stuff. And so she would get money from like guys sometimes, like they would send money. And so there was one time that she got like $500 like from a dude. And I was like, oh, well, like it was just randomly $500. And then I found it so ironic that like a guy sent her $500. And then I was like, well, she's like spending it on me now because we're together right now.
Yeah.
So it was like, I've always found it really weird. Like OnlyFans and a lot of that stuff, not because it's like, oh, whatever. I mean, if you look at my page, clearly like I shoot women all the time.
Yeah, bro, you have amazing work.
It's all right. 100%.
Why do you say that? Are you your biggest critic?
100%.
That's how I am.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, I was like,
if you showed me any of my shit, I'd be like,
you're just like, I can always do better. So that's the thing. Like, the thing is, that's like what a problem with a lot of like, not even just photographers, but creatives in general. Like, I have pictures that I love, and it's kind of like everybody loves too. So it solidifies my love for that photo. But I don't vouch by that photo. I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is my best photo ever. Like I will be like, this is my best photo ever shot like in 5 years. Because it's kind of like when you're content or you're like, oh, this is like a great photo of mine, you don't move forward. True. So I will constantly be like, this is a great photo. Cool. Okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Who cares? Like this photo, like my recent photo that's been like, everybody loves it is the Playboy one. The one that like the chick is squeezing the orange in her mouth and everything.
Seen that, yes.
That one, everybody loves that one. Like we're making it into a shirt. I just did a 50-inch print right now of it. It was about like $400. It was crazy. It's crazy. Like it's probably maybe like from here to like probably here, maybe give or take. I don't know. Maybe
more than half the table.
Yeah, probably. It's 50 inches. It's huge as hell. It has a metal frame. But like I printed that photo out because it's more like symbolically like this is a chapter of like, more things are happening in my life. And so like those are one of those photos, like the Playboy one. Yeah, the Playboy one. Everybody loves that one. Everybody told me that. Like,
how do you own the rights to something? Like, do you have to put it in like writing that you own the rights to that picture, or like how does the logistics work?
It's more of the like what's that one word? Creative, like dang, what is that one word? People say it on YouTube all the time. The fair use. There you go.
Fair use.
Like it's more of that. It's not like I'm claiming to work for Playboy. I'm not claiming that like, oh, I own their rights or do all that stuff. It's literally like a design. Like if you look at the picture, it just says my name on it. So it already like breaks the like their branding or like how they label all their stuff in the end. So like that's more what it is. And obviously I'm not like doing I already talked to a couple of people about it. I was like, I'm going to sell some shirts. It'll probably be like 50 to 100. And after that, like we're done. Like I'm not doing any more just because I don't want to constantly sell something. Well, first of all, it's a lot of work. Like, to print a shirt, like the cheapest you can get a shirt is like $7. So can you imagine printing out like 100, $700? Might not sound necessarily a lot, like especially when you're selling something, but then like packaging, all this other stuff, it's too much work. So in the grand scheme of things, I just want to be like 50, 100, boom, we're done. That's it. And move on just because I don't want to stick on it for too long. And obviously you don't want to necessarily like, regardless if it falls under fair use or not, whatever it is, it still says Playboy on it. So 100% you don't want to keep selling something that says Playboy on it because it's kind of like, what if I become well-known? Or like, I am going to be well-known. Got to speak that.
Of course.
It's like, what if I become like, when I become famous or like when I become well-known or when I blow up? It's kind of like if I'm still selling something or like advertising something. I should have worn that shirt today, actually. Just to like rock it. But like, if I'm constantly like selling that or sharing that, then it'll kind of put me on the map. Because that's how it happens. A lot of like famous people or like rich business people, they talk about that all the time where like people are always going to like sue them, always come for them because they see like they have the money or something. So they're kind of like, boom. So with me, once I sell the shirts, like 50, 100, after it's done, like it's done. I'm like, I'm not even going to touch that again. Yeah. Like it's over. Like we're finished with it and we're just moving on. Because that's my mentality. It's kind of like I do a project, boom, we did it. All right, we're moving on. What's the next big thing?
Yes.
And all that stuff. So that's like how I do a lot of my stuff anyways.
Yeah, I'm on. This is episode 51, 52. This is episode 52. But just recently, I've realized, because I used to go back and watch the podcast clips or go back and not watch the entire podcast, but I'll fast forward to parts to remember something or do a debriefing and see like what could have been better or what I could have said or whatever it be. But now it's more of a zip to the side. Like beautiful work. Great podcast, great conversation, but on to the next podcast.
You're just moving on and everything like that, which is good. Like a lot of people like to stick to the past, and I'm like, nah, man.
But also it's personal journals. So when 5 years from
100%.
now you go back, like my personal journal, like I have
You were like,
2-hour
wow,
conversations every week. Yeah.
You back and you're like, wow, this was really trash. What was I doing this
Brant.
whole time?
Hey, future Brant. I know you probably are like, yo, this is so cringe now, but hi.
Yeah. Be
It's
like,
fun.
imagine you look back on it, like when you're famous or something like that. You're like, what the heck was I doing or something
What was
like
I
that?
doing?
You were like, heck no. That's how it is, man. When I think I've been doing photography for like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like looking back, like I archived a lot of stuff. So it's technically still on my page, but it's just archived. And when I go back, I'm like, Jesus, this is so disgusting. I was like, why was I doing this to begin with? But
what's the difference between your work now and your work? Again, I know it's hard to put in words sometimes, but is there some sort of
I show naked
quantitative,
women just
qualitative
all the time now? I'm just kidding. I'm messing around. I just say that as a joke because like obviously you don't know any of my friends, like close friends, but a lot of my close friends, they make fun of me because they'll be like, man, you just love shooting naked women and all this other stuff. And I'm like, guys, relax. Like that's not my goal. So like even now, like I'll answer your question, but it's more of like I'm just inserting this in. But it's like because of like that connotation of like, oh, you always shoot women or they always naked or showing their ass or whatever it is. I already know what my next stage of my photography is going to be. So it's like, it's not going to be so heavy focused on that. Like I'm still going to have the stuff I have now, but it's going to be like mixing to other stuff that would advertise more for like a Vogue or whatever it is, like the high fashion stuff. But like, then what was the question that you asked me? It was how much has changed, right?
Yeah,
okay.
the qualitative, like is there a descriptive, qualitative or like quantitative something that's the difference between past work, like the cringe stuff you feel is cringe
100%
now?
Well, the thing is I used to be a graphic designer. So I already knew how to use Photoshop a lot of the time. And a lot of people say like when a lot of photographers start out, they like to go a little bit ham, which is 100% true. Like you like to go over the top with like your editing, 100% like over editing, making someone's skin look like porcelain, all this other stuff. So since I had known how to use Photoshop beforehand, because I was a graphic designer, and I tell people all the time, I used to like literally make people's skin like too perfect. And like sometimes I used to like fix their nose, push up their jaw, just do a whole bunch of weird stuff and everything. Yeah, it was really weird, man. I was like, I don't know why I was doing this. But like
30 people just DM'd you.
Yeah.
Right now, like, hey, you want to shoot? Because you said that.
I know. It was weird, man. It was so weird. But then what happened is that like I focused a lot on portraiture. So like I focused a lot on the face. And then as time went on, but that's normal. Like I focused on portraiture because I didn't know how to work or direct someone like for their whole body. But as years went by, my work has changed where like now I don't even really take portraits most of the time. Like I do mostly full body because I just love how the person's like, I shoot with women most of the time, but the only reason why is because for every 50 women, there's like only one dude. And like sometimes that one dude, it doesn't even look like a great model in the end. So it's kind of like you have this huge disparity of like women like models compared to like male models in the end. So that's like the only reason, like at least that's why I can defend myself and say like, I don't shoot guys just because I just have no guys at all, unless if I move to Miami, but I'm in Orlando. But like my work has changed where I just like seeing more of the body, like more of the intricacy, more of just like the person, like because if it just shows like you have more thought into it. That and like lighting, like the recent picture I posted of this topless chick, like it was more of like that. Like her story was crazy. Like she was telling me that like, she hadn't shot in like 4 months. Cause like there was a lot of personal things happening and all this other stuff. So like that photo shoot that I did with her was like the first one she had done in so long and everything. And when she like saw the photos, she was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like that's my body in the end. But it's like one of those things where you just, when you know like how to make someone's body look good and when you know lighting especially, like you can like define it so well. Like I just shot with a couple for their engagement, and the guy was jacked, bro. But I was
I've seen him.
Yeah, oh yeah, you seen him, right?
I've
And
seen
everything. His name's Garrett. And then when I was like, I got you, bro. Give me a second. So I just moved the light a little bit, and then when I put it there, his like abs just like protruded out just so much more, and they just came out. And so I feel like now, compared to then and now, like one of the biggest things is like my technique. 100% my technique has changed completely. Like besides full body, the lighting. I feel like that's what I'm known for mostly. Like when you look at my photography, it's very dark. Like it's very like moody, dark, kind of grungy, but it also has that provocative like touch to it, but it's not trashy at the same time. Because I know a lot of photographers.
You have a perfect evenness, bro.
Yeah.
Because looking through your page,
Thanks, man,
I always do study
it.
for the podcast, and man, it was the perfect evenness of provocative, but not like
it's not
any
too
sort
much.
of too much.
It's because I have like just like a little bit about my life. I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters, so I have a lot of siblings and everything. But like especially my sisters, they like engraved a lot in me. Especially, and so I always kind of think like, what would like obviously my sisters aren't like, oh my gosh, thrilled that like I shoot women, because clearly like what kind of woman is gonna be like, yeah, you shoot that tit right now or something like that, like you shoot that like girl lingerie. Obviously they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, this is amazing, I love this so much. But I always keep that into account, like of them. Like I always think about them. Like I even always tell models all the time, because they're like, oh, like if we're doing lingerie, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, dude, I was like, my goal in the end of the day is I was like, if I can't hang the picture in my wall, like in my house for other people to see, or if you can't hang it in public, then it's probably not appropriate at the end of the day. True. So like, that's always what I keep in mind in a lot of the photos. Like if I can't hang it, or I can't like show it proudly on a wall for other people to see, because I'd be like, oh, there's like too raunch here, too grunt, like this too much, then I'm probably doing it wrong 100% of the time. Yeah. So like I have those two influences of, when I'm shooting like a lot of photos, I'm always thinking about like keeping a certain class to it, because I want it to like really age well. And then obviously like my family, like 100%, I'm a Hispanic, so like family's super important. And so like, that's probably the most important thing for me, to be like, okay, like regardless of my sisters are enamored with me shooting a woman that's naked in lingerie, whatever it may be, as long as it has that class to it, like I know I can be proud of it at the end. Exactly. Yeah. So, especially with Florida photographers, that's another reason why I hate the state. They're just really cringy. Yeah. So weird, bro. They're really weird, or like they are really like trashy, like 100%. Like they just care about like, oh, who has the biggest butt and everything. I can't do that stuff.
Yeah. I think the field that you're in, like female, especially you've been shooting a lot of girls, because that's just the base that wants pictures, right?
Yeah, every
female energy is amazing, bro. Like I have my boys, I'm mostly around my guys, right? Like
I wish
those are my brothers for life.
I would 100. I wish that.
Do you wish? I wish 100%. For more female energy, because female energy, it's just divine.
Because you're not around it
all the time.
I was like, dude, you're not around it. The thing is, like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, there's a lot of guys. Well, I mean, obviously, this because people are looking from the outside in, and there's so many guys that are like, even like friends or just people or whatever it is, they see my work and they'll be like, oh my gosh, bro, you be shooting with the baddest girls. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, be like, yo, this girl's so hot. And I'm like, dude, relax. Like, it's just, first of all, I feel like since I'm just so, I see it all the time. Like, I just see like someone's body and just like all the time. Like at this point, like I feel like I'm pretty much, I don't know if numb is the right word, but I feel like I've seen it so much. Like I'm unfazed by it. Literally, like there's just some models where they'll change in front of you like naked, and you're just like, clearly I'm gonna look away. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, just do this in front of me. But at this point, like if someone just does something in front of me, I'm so unfazed by it because I've seen it so many times. And like I feel like a lot of like people that are seeing from the outside in, they don't understand. Like you're just like, it's not as hyped up to be. You be either like a lot of these women, not saying like on my page or the models I shoot, I'm just saying in general or something like that. Like a lot of the people you meet, sometimes they're really crazy. They're kind of weird. They're really uncomfortable sometimes. Like there's some people like, not that I've like posted or anything like that, but it's just more like client work. But it's like you have these like huge figures that hit you up or models, and they're just boring. Like they have this crazy following or whatever it is, but they're just boring people. And it's because their personality is wrapped around that. So I just tell people, I'm like, bro, it's not as hyped up as you think it is. It's just, it is what it is. Like I personally prefer like when I can hang around, like let's say TJ, because TJ's a really good friend or my best friend. I was with him today. Like I like it because I'm just always constantly around women all the time. And you just hear stuff and you're just like, all right, cool. Like you just hear females be like, oh my gosh, this guy. And I'm like, bro, I was like, I don't care about this. I'm like,
What about TJ?
No. I'm saying like girls, they'll be like, oh, like females will be like, oh, this guy. Be like, oh, this guy broke my heart or something. I'm like, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't care about this. I'm like, to a certain extent, I'm like, this is not even my place at all. Like, there's so many stories or so many little things where I'm just like, what is going on? Like, just some weird crap, very uncomfortable. I've had like some traumatic stories happen. I'm just like, what? I was like, why? Please. I'm like, I don't know why this is happening. So it's cool, 100%. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot because of females, 100%. Like, the one thing I've learned a lot is like, I feel like I'm very much separated from most guys because a lot of guys don't even understand like the female like body language or even the little things they do. So since I'm always around it and I always see it all the time, I understand it. So I'm like, bro, like I 100% can account. Women don't care about money. 100% they don't care about that most of the time. Unless they're that shallow, then they care about it because of like, they care about you because of the money, but they don't care about money. They don't care about necessarily what you do, like depending on what it is. Like most women don't like guys being like so like upfront and trying to be like this machismo man. Like most chicks are pretty normal most of the time, but it's just like
unless there's daddy issues.
Yeah, exactly. No, believe I asked that one time to a girl. There's a girl that I was
asked?
I linked up when I was linking up with a girl because she was just talking about like her issues here and there, and I was like, is your parents like divorced? Like, do you have a dad? And then she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, so you have daddy issues? And then she's like, yeah. And I was like, this explains a lot. I was like 100% and everything. But that's how I am. I'm pretty like blunt. I'm pretty straightforward. Obviously, like depending on the situation, clearly when I'm shooting models or working with clients, I'm clearly not going to be like, you're kind of crazy. Clearly, I'm not going to say that stuff. I'm going to be as professional as I can.
You're going to say it after.
Yeah. But anything that like it's personal or out of it or whatever it is, 100% I'm going to do it all the time. Like when I'm shooting or I'm working with someone, I'm already in a phase. But when I get out of the shoot, like I'm known for like on Instagram for always going out to get sushi. 100%. That's everybody. Like they're just like, oh, this guy loves getting sushi. So sometimes like with my clients, they'll be like, oh, do you want to get sushi and all that stuff? And that's where like you can just talk more about personal stuff and everything because now you're in the context of a normal setting right there.
Yeah. How much of it? So basically when you do a photo shoot or a video shoot, you're usually going to a nice location and you're working for how long would you say a usual photo shoot, video shoot is? I know it ranges, but
probably an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Gotcha. How often are you networking and going out to get that sushi? Like say the photo shoot went really well. Is there ever a moment where
most of the time, like I don't even like push that 100% just because, you don't want to give off that energy like you're trying to get something out of a person in the end. Like not even like like I'm trying to get this out of you, but it's more of like I'm a man. At the end of the day, I'm a male and I'm a straight male. So 100% already then and there that like puts me in a position where it's kind of like
like a construct of
it's kind of like is this guy trying to get at me or whatever it is. So I don't even push that. I don't even suggest it at the end of the day. Like some people, I'll just joke around with them because it's funny. Like one of my clients. And this was just more funny. Like, if she ever watches this, it'll be funny. But like one of my clients, she didn't send me the outfits for her shoot until like the day of. But I told her, I was like, yo, if you don't send me the outfit like this day, you owe me sushi. I was like, you 100% owe me sushi and everything like that. And in my mind, I'm not assuming like someone's gonna be like, oh, they're not gonna send it and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. It's a joke. But then in the end, they didn't send it. So they're like, oh, now I owe you sushi. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's kind of like, I'm not going to push anything. I'm not going to be that kind of person. Because I personally, I don't want to get canceled because I'm like, for me, I don't trust anybody. Like, that's one thing that like my sisters and my mom taught me, like never, not in a bad way, not in a negative way, but just never trust a woman to a certain extent. Like guys, I feel like we're kind of dumb. Like to a certain extent, I feel like we're kind of like this. Like we work in a straightforward process. And then women, it's kind of like there's like they go like this. There's like 2,000 avenues for it. So I feel like I can like a guy's an idiot. They can ruin a woman's life, but a woman, if she really wants to ruin your life, she can go about it. So like with me, I'm pretty like cautious about a lot of things in general. That's why I tell models, I'm like, hey, bring someone with you all the time. I was like, it's cool if you're comfortable, but bring someone with you because you never know.
Witness.
100%. Yeah, because you're less likely. What kind of idiot would make a move or be a predator on someone when there's two people there?
Right.
That's very unlikely.
That happens with male nurses a lot, and male doctors and things like that. A lot of patients will say incorrect things. So like a lot of male nurses are having a female nurse come into the room with them. If a woman has a background of suing hospitals, things like that.
I didn't even know that. What the heck? How do you even know that? Did you look that up? Or?
No, I just know random shit.
Oh, I was like, how do you even know that?
Yeah,
I was like, that's so
I just know a lot of random shit. I'm gonna write a book one day.
It's really true, bro. That's like the scary thing for me is I never want to like be in a situation, which I've been doing it for so long. So at this point, like if someone says something, it'd be so out of pocket. It'd be like, this guy's never done anything in the past 5 years. So what was the change like randomly out of nowhere? You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I always take those precautions. Like at the end of the day, like bring someone with you. Like we're gonna be in a public place, never private. Like even like I did a hotel shoot for a client. Like it was just us in the hotel. But I told him, I was like, hey, bring anybody you want. I was like, bring your whole family, bring your mom. I don't care. At the end of the day, and they didn't bring anybody, but they were telling me they're like, you know, like I'm comfortable with you. All this other stuff. You're recommended by so many people that I'm not really too worried about it in the end. But at the same time, never be too sure. Like you can never be too sure. Yeah, 100%. I feel like strapping like a GoPro on me just to be like, almost like a body cam, just to be like, there you go, guys. I'm pretty safe right now. So like, it's just crazy, man.
Well, it is a thing, man. I mean, there are a lot of big photographers. Didn't it like a bunch of models like make a list talking about a bunch of different photographers that?
I think it's called like shit photographers or something like that. There's an Instagram of that. And
super viral thing.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of photographers I know. I literally have a list on my phone of creepy or shit photographers.
For you to stay away from.
From just to keep account. So like if I ever see a model like considering it or if they work with them, I'll just give them a heads up ahead of time. So one of my really good friends, like she sometimes models and everything like that. She's super beautiful. She's super cool. And she was like, hey, I'm going to shoot with this photographer right here. And I was like, don't. I was like, do not shoot with this person. I was like, this is what happens. I was like, this happened to a couple other models that I know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Don't even touch that with a mile like long stick and everything. So like, it's like something like that where it's to help me avoid those people to begin with, but also to like help people like, yo, watch out with this person. Like they're a freaking creep. Like most of the time I feel like it still happens. Like there's still weirdos, but at least with social media, it's easier to like call a lot of people out compared to let's say like 10 years ago where it's kind of like 10 years ago since social media wasn't so prevalent, like a lot of photographers would blackmail a lot of, I know so many like photographers that have blackmailed models where they'll be like, you know, if they want this opportunity or do something like that, oh, they need to like do this or whatever it is. Shit. Yeah, or they'll jeopardize jobs for them. Dude, I know so much like just little stuff like that. Obviously, I don't say names because that's more of like quote unquote defamation of someone's like like their name or whatever.
I never name drop on the podcast.
Yeah. No, of course. 100%.
Even in a positive light, usually I don't name drop.
Yeah. You just want to do it anyways, 100%. Right. Like not even me. Even if they literally like did the stupidest crap, I wouldn't even do it just because that's not my place.
Yeah, it's not my place.
Yeah.
Some people think it's their place. Like some people are.
It'll eventually, people will always get their comeuppance. Some way, somehow, and everything like that. But like, dude, there's just so much stuff that I've heard or seen, like, or it's happened to friends, and you're just like, dude, what the heck? Like, I feel like thinking of social media is a thing, but there's still like some weird ass people.
Bro, there's some, and use this word lightly. There's some evil people, bro. I used to be so naive in 100%. Thinking like, okay, I'm a good guy. I have like intact morals. I have fun, but like I would never like fuck somebody over in a weird way or do something. Bro, you know what I'm saying?
There's some
people do that shit.
There's some weird people. I had a girl saw my photo one time on OnlyFans, and I was like, why? I was like, why would you do that? Cool. I was like, why would you do that? Because first of all, you need to like regardless if they knew or not, like a lot of people know you need to sign a release form. So like most photographers, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't do it, but like I'll send it out to like, I send it always to my clients, but models, it really just depends how I feel. But like I'll send a release form and pretty much that person, when they're signing that release form, it's kind of like you're relinquishing the rights to the photo. So whatever I want to do, if I wanted to advertise this, sell this as merch, et cetera, I can do it. I don't need to give you anything. That's kind of like a release form. Yeah. But if a model wants to take your photo that you shot, she needs to send you a release form so you can sign it to like relinquish the photos to that person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you see something on like OnlyFans, I didn't even know it was on OnlyFans. They put it on their story and everything like that.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really weird, dude, because I'm like, you're making like $1,000 off a photo that literally, first of all, like it's not yours in the end of the day. Like,
What was the photo?
I literally don't even know. It was just a photo from that set, but I'm not going to go through the work of
Buying that? Imagine
subscribing
spending money
your
on your
OnlyFans.
picture.
Heck no. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was
Spending
like,
money on your picture.
100%, because I can tell. I told the person, I was like, hey, like, not even hey, take it down. I was just like, hey, if you ever want to work with each other again, I was like, don't do this with my photo. And they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. And then unfollowed me right after.
Ooh.
But literally, like, I'm not gonna babysit someone. I'm not gonna try to subscribe to your like OnlyFans, pay like $15 a month just to make sure you don't use my
Are you subscribed
photo.
to an OnlyFans?
Heck no. What the
Okay,
heck? Why would I? That would be it would be really weird, because the thing is like why, like I just think about it like this. Like, first of all, like you have the internet. So I actually don't even know why that's a thing personally for me. And then I'm a photographer. I see stuff all the time. Now, obviously, that's more in the art aspect. Clearly, I'm not shooting a chick and then it's like, oh my gosh, this is all hot or some stupid crap like that. It's because, believe it or not, I get asked that all, like, besides like friends, I get all the time asked that from like girls that have like dated or been romantically like with. Like, they'll ask me that all the time. They'll be like, oh, do you get like, obviously, this is like a guy thing, 100%. They'd be like, oh, do you get excited or do you do something with the photos? And I was like, why? I was like, this is like my baby. Like, this is like something I shot and I'm proud of. So why would you do that or something like that? That's weird, dude.
It'll be a little shermy.
Yeah.
Like,
have you ever done music before?
Like made music?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I was a little bit younger, I attempted to, and then I found out it wasn't for me.
So can you imagine you wrote a love song and then you played that love song while you're making love to your girl? How uncomfortable is it to listen to yourself singing? It's right. That's kind of weird, right? So that's like how I equate it to myself. It's kind of like, why would I do that if like this is something I created? You know what I'm saying? That's really uncomfortable for me and everything. And it's not even like a random person on the screen. Like, it's not just a random person. Like, I met you. So we have a personal connection.
Right.
You trusted me with yourself. Like, you put me in your hands to be secure. And for me to do that, that's disrespectful. Because like, how dare I do something like that? Yeah. Like, it's not, you're not even a stranger. You're not even just a random picture or like just someone that I've never met. Like, you're someone that's came to me and trusted me for my eye and everything. Wouldn't say friendship.
He's like, God, keep me out of that stand.
100% not friendship. I learned that the hard way. Like, 100% definitely not. Like, I
don't mix business with friendship. Is that
well, the thing is with me is like, I'm a friendly guy, but at the end of the day, like, people misconstrued you being friendly with trying to take advantage or being really disrespectful to you. So I will be like, hey, it's cool. We're friendly. I don't care. But boom, like,
I know exactly.
This is business.
I just had I had this guy on a while ago. I'm not going to say his name, of course. This is definitely a non-name drop. But if he's listening to this, you know who you are. Randomly, I get this Instagram story post, and I'm already saying too much. He's a rapper. But I get this Instagram post. He said, yo, take my shit off your page, and tagged my page. I'm like, what? I'm like, I have I had a friendship with him. I was like, what? And so I messaged back. I was like, bro, what is this? And then I had his phone because me and him exchanged numbers. I give him a FaceTime, doesn't pick up. Then I FaceTime him again right after because he hung up on it. I'm like, I'm not, like, you have this shit on your page. Like, he's not answering to my DMs, leaving it on red. So he picks up. He goes, yo. I'm like, bro, like, why am I supposed to take your shit off my page, bro? And he was just saying how he wanted to come on again. I'm like, you're weird. You will never be on again.
You're like, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
no.
You're weird. He wanted to come on again. He's like, I feel like it didn't represent me. I'm like, I had a conversation with you. You came, you know what you came for. I was like, I'd take it down. It's so far in the archive that like people aren't going to be, it's not accruing views rapidly still.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already there, bro. I put money into this shit.
That is crazy.
I'm like, I put money into this shit. I invested my time into do it. You came out and you're going to ask me to take my shit down and post it on your story and not DM me. And it's because you want to come back on and do a new one.
Yeah, no,
that's weird to me.
That's too much. Yeah, no, I have a lot of experiences and stuff like that. Like, I just did a photo shoot where, like, I watermark most of my stuff anyways when I'm doing shoots. Just that clearly that OnlyFans thing kind of traumatized me. So clearly you're just watermarking a lot of that stuff. And so there's a model that literally like I watermarked it and she was like, hey, do you have any picture that's not watermarked and everything? And I was like, No, they're all watermarked. And I just explained the situation of why I do it. And they're like, okay, cool, that's fine. And I think like literally like, I don't know if it was a couple hours of the next day where they were like, hey, I understand why you did this and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. But I thought this was like an exchange of content or something like that. And I was like, this is just so out of pocket and everything like that. And I'm like, it is an exchange of content, like depending on what it is. Of course, like if it's paid, clearly my client 100%, I'm gonna like try to figure out whatever I need to do. But when it's more of it's called collaboration when you do something free. When I'm collaborating with you, because I was shooting for a company, so
this is a collaboration.
Stuff. Yeah, the one that I was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So literally, like for the collaboration, like whenever it's a collaboration, I don't need to abide by any rule at that point. Like if I'm doing anything out of my spare time and you're not paying for anything, I'm not going to like do any. I have no obligation. Right. If I want to edit 5 photos and be done with it, I can do that because you didn't pay for anything. So why would I go above and beyond for doing something like that? So it was like, you have a lot of stuff like that. You just have a lot of like, not goofy people. You just have like a lot of interesting characters and all that stuff. So that's why we're not necessarily friends. Like I don't consider most people that I talk to friends. A lot of people call me their friends, but they're not my friend. Like I kid you not. A lot of people are like, yeah, Jimmy's my friend. And I'm like, we're not friends, because in my mind, like a friend is so much deeper than this. Like I was like, our relationship is only social media, and that's how far it goes.
That word definitely holds different like rankings, right? So I mean, 100%. You have a friend, and then you could have a friend. I guess emphasis on a different like part of the word.
You're not gonna be a jerk to someone you're not gonna be like, hey, you're actually not my friend, but like you'll be like, yeah, man, we're friends and everything, but like, you're not my friend, like 100%. Like I can pretty much say for a lot of people that I've worked with, shot with, that are on my page, they're not my friends, really. Like they're more of obviously like good acquaintances, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, 100%. No. Like good acquaintances. Like if you ever want to hang, like
if you want to become friends, that's cool.
You can have acquaintances, 100%. Like you've probably had people where like you're not necessarily friends, but if you ever meet up or you ever go out, you can have a hell of a good time, of course.
Always.
But like literally, like you're not necessarily like my friend. I don't call you at like 2 a.m. if I need something. Clearly, because at the end of the day, our relationship is, first of all, it was business. That's how it started off. So I don't want to like start bridging the gap between it. That like I've had amazing friendships now because of photography, but those are really organic. That just happens because maybe we just click so well. Like TJ, boom. That was like how we met was just really weird. Like we met because someone else referred him to me. So it's kind of like,
I mean, I've been close friends with them for a long time.
Oh,
no. The Castro twins?
Yeah.
They referred them?
No. It didn't refer. So a photographer that Val and Gabby worked with, they just referred TJ to me because because he just focuses on doing a lot of like swim shoots and all that stuff. So he's like, hey, like this guy right here, he does shoot men as well. So go with him. So in the end, like that's how we met. Like someone referred him to me. We shot, and then ever since then, we became like really good friends. He's just a really friendly dude. You know him. He's just a really,
I've had him on the
really
show
friendly
3 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's just a really friendly dude, like 100% of the time. So like, that's how we met. But that was one of those situations in relationships where it's kind of like, it was organic over time. Like literally, like we weren't like, hey, we're gonna be friends and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like it just happened. And plus, we're both males. Like we're both men. So that already changes so much. Like in a pool, a sea of women. When you only get like a couple of guys in your like crosshair, you're just like, yeah. You're like, yeah, all right, bro.
The ratio is great in this bitch.
Yeah. You're like, please, bro. You're like, we could be friends, bro. Please.
Yeah.
We need this right now. His birthday was just this Saturday too. So.
I was supposed to go, but I worked all weekend. So
really?
You and I would have met before the podcast.
So
I had no idea.
So I'm calling him out right now. So 100%. When I went to his birthday, I knew 100% he was going to get plastered. 100%. I already knew. So I was drinking a good amount before, like pre-gaming. But right before we got to before we were getting to the club 30 minutes before, I had stopped drinking. I already started eating. I already started drinking liquid. And then even when we went to the club, I was just drinking juice. I took a Red Bull because I was like, I want to be pretty sober-minded as this night continues. And 100%, that man got plastered. So I knew he was going to. So I wanted to make sure like he was safe because it's his birthday, man. So I was like, yo, just go crazy. but at least like I can watch him. So 100% that man went insane. It was funny and all that stuff. Like, it was amazing. Like, I had a great experience. I have videos on my phone.
Did he by chance try to buy everybody shots at any point?
No, there was like 13 bottles. So I think he was good.
He's good. He's
Yeah.
covered.
So it was gonna come. It was gonna come regardless, the shots and everything like that. But like him, I think he told me a story where he just was like so drunk he kept paying shots for people.
He
And
said
I
the
was
story
like,
on the podcast too.
I was like, bro, you're too nice. I was like, I would never do that. But like, that's what I was telling him. Like, I already then and there, I was like, yeah, I already know 100%. I know what he's about to do. So by the time we were already at the club, when he was already starting to like kind of go more and more deep into it, I was already chilling. So by the time like he was kind of like gone, I was already good. I was like, yo, I can drive him home. We're chilling right now. And then literally like his friends were like with me, like just helping and all that stuff. And they're like, are you good, bro? Are you sure to drive? And I was like, bro, I stopped drinking like an hour and a half ago already, like 2. I was like, I'm already good. I was like, I'm prepared for this.
That's what I
I'm
do
chilling.
whenever I go out and I'm driving myself or driving a group of friends. You know, I'm never
Designated
drunk
driver.
driving ever, but I'll drink as soon as I get there. So say I know I'm going to be there for about 4.5, 5 hours. I just pulled up to the crib or to the club. I'll drink as soon as I get there, and I'll drink a little bit quickly, maybe.
Believe me,
pace
bro.
myself.
I'll be taking like 3 or 4 shots at once.
Oh,
just
yeah.
to get out of the way. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have 3 hours to sober up, 2 hours to enjoy yourself, and then an hour where you're like, okay, I'm
I
done
need
for
to
the
get
night.
my mind and everything like that. No, 100%. Yeah. So I was like, no, we're not doing this. I hate clubs anyways. So like, they're just like too much and everything. Like in general, TJ was like, man, he's like, we gotta get all the ladies and everything. I was like, bro, I'm not trying to get any lady in this like place just because like I don't even like clubs to begin with. I've been like to so many in Miami, and you're just like, it's cool, it's a cool experience, but like I personally don't want to pay like $20 to take a shot. Personally, for me,
Right.
Like I would prefer, like I like the dancing. You don't need to, but it's kind of like at a club. Like besides dancing, it's kind of like what else are you gonna be doing?
I prefer expeditions where it's going to a nice place to eat at night to celebrate a accomplishment with the circle, and then maybe a couple add-ons that aren't a part of the circle.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, some new faces we can have conversations with.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a club, I feel like you can only go with like a really good friend group, and I feel like it might be enjoyable. But every time I've gone to a club, it's usually just me and a girl. So maybe that's why I feel like I'm more like,
Ooh, don't.
where I'm just like, I don't feel like going to like,
I never enjoyed going to the club with a girl.
Yeah.
With a girl.
yeah, 100%.
Never enjoyed it.
It just, nah.
It's a weird construct. And then plus you're just always like, you're not worried, but you also have that
100% I
extra
am
sense
worried.
of like,
yes, 100%.
where's she at? Where am I at? Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
no.
I'm drunk.
I remember there was one time where like a girl was trying to like make out with me in the club, and I was like, dude, get off of me. Because I was like, with me, I'd be hating that PDA stuff 100%. Like it's fine if you
Out in
give
public?
a little, yeah, it's fine if you give a little pic to someone or like whatever.
Making
it
out
is.
in the club is
But
weird.
like making out, like nothing screams romantic to me like than like making out with hundreds of people around you. That just doesn't that's not alluring to me. So like I remember that one time that happened, and I was like, whatever, I'll just give like whatever. But I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, it's really uncomfortable. I'm like, and I've seen people do it all the time where they're just going in on someone. I'm like, bro,
Ooh.
just get a room at this point. Like, why-
I always grab my boys and I'll point it out. You know, you point at it
100%,
like,
dude.
look.
I shot literally in downtown Orlando one time for like this DJ and all that stuff. Like I was paid to go to record, and then like they had like a VIP room like for me to like just kind of like you can look down, and then literally I was telling them, I was like, how many people can you catch like making out just in the sea of people? Because like they were all packed up like this, so there was a lot of people.
Little
And then you would
salamanders.
just see like people just like bunched up together, like just making out, and you're just like, how is this romantic?
Groups of people making out, like,
No, like you just see like squished people, and then you see like a little pockets of people making out, and I'm like, no.
yeah, nothing screams romantic about that.
No, it's just, for me, I hate that crap. I don't even like it to begin with. Like the last time I went to a club, like couple other times, like I almost got into a fight. So ever since then, I was like, you know what? I don't mess with this. I'm done with this crap. And it wasn't because of me. It was because literally like, I had like 3 girls with me. So I was like, this is the last time I go with 3 girls to a club. Because I was like, hell no. I was
jumped.
like, yeah, no, it was just like they tried to take him to another room. And I was like, dude, I was like, what the hell are you doing right now? And everything. And he was like, get the hell out of here, bro. Get the hell out. And I was like, bro, I'm not going anywhere.
There's weirdos.
Yeah. And then he was like, oh, I'm going to kick you out of the club. And I was like, oh, you going to kick me out? I was like, yo, hey, guys, I'm getting kicked out of the club. I guess we got to leave. And he's like, oh, no. Because like then he figured out that they were with me. I was like, oh, no, don't. And all that stuff. And I was like, bro, get the hell out of my face right now. I was just so like bothered because I was like, bro, like, what do you think this is right now? So
yeah, that's a big thing about the club too, is that there is some sort of like male versus male, that every time you go to the club, sometimes usually there's good energy.
Yeah.
But there always are those like guys that maybe their ego isn't a healthy ego. It's like a incorrect
100%.
ego. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But I went to the club once, and apparently I went with a group of guys. This is when I was like 19 years old. So we were going to a freshman club, right?
Oh.
And yeah,
So sorry,
so you know how that went.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Anyways,
So sorry.
I saw them talking to these guys, and I'm not gonna name drop, but one of them is a big guy on our side, right? And I see them beefing with these other 3 big guys. I'm like, what's going on? And instantly, one of my friends just threw a super hard, quick hit. It wasn't a sucker punch or anything. It was like head on. And then all 3 of the guys who like looked at them and they're like, oh, a lot of people don't actually want to fight. A lot of people are just assholes.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't care to fight. I don't care to beef with anybody for wrong reason.
Personally, for me, regardless if I win or lose, I was like, I don't care. We're committing to this idea. So like, especially the club that I was at, it was in Miami too. He was like a promoter. And he was like, oh, I run this place. And I was like, bro, you don't run this. Is your promoter and everything like that. But he was like, I'll beat you up right now. And I was like, bro, I don't care. I was like, all right, we'll go with this in the end. I was like, we'll commit to this idea. Like with me, like, I'm not, like, if I'm going to, like, I'm pretty chill. I'm mostly like pretty mild, like, what's that one word?
Nonchalant?
Like, I'm pretty like sober, like minded, or I'm pretty chill most of the time. I'm not going to do anything rash. But clearly, I'm not going to let someone just walk all over me. Like 100%. Like, dude, like regardless, I can't like that. I'm not doing that at all. So like, especially I was born in New York. Like you don't let anybody do that. Like when you give someone like that inch, they'll take a mile. So you're just like, bump this crap.
Him saying he's a promoter to you is the equivalent of if he said that and then you said, look at my work, and pulled out all your photos that you take.
It'd be like,
it's like the equivalent. I'm a promoter here. Bro,
I don't care if you're a promoter. Yeah. It happens all the time, man. It was just like, dude, that was like one of the last times I went to like the only times I've gone now is because of like
celebration
invites, like TJ saying that I went to a club for that, but it's not even Miami. That's like literally like in Tampa, so it's different. But I personally don't even like it to begin with because I'm just like,
Tampa's been bumping.
Tampa's nice. I like it. I'm going back there again literally on Saturday.
Ooh, so 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, it's because I'm just doing a shoot with a model out there, so that's why.
Okay.
100%. So
Gotcha.
that's the only reason why I'm
life
going
has
out
come
there.
back. Thank you, TJ.
Heck no. I'll be like, never go out there. If he's out there during that time is different, just because he always comes back to like Groveland or whatever he is, or Claremont or Orlando, just to like do his little errands or stuff. So he goes back and forth from like Orlando to Tampa all the time. Like he'll be like boom, 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 boom. So I don't know what the heck he does. I called him yesterday. He didn't pick up. So I was just like, screw you, bro. Thanks for not picking up. So
yeah, he's probably in his biochem classes or some shit.
Yeah, that guy is studying to be a doctor, bro. 100%.
Yeah, he's
crazy. So yeah, he's a funny guy. He's in love with one of my friends, and I'm saying this on purpose just because it's funny. He's in love with one of my friends, and he's like, bro, gotta help me out with it. And I'm like, I was like, hey man, I'll help you out as much as I can. But I was like, this is like. I was like, that's all you right there, brother. I was like, this is all you right there. So when this comes out, I'm sending this part of the clip to him.
You see the video in Tampa of Tom Brady. Like once they won, Tampa Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. I'm not big in NFL. I'm not a big football guy.
Okay.
Not at all. I love NBA. I'm big into the NBA, but I don't watch religiously. But
okay.
Did you see the viral video of after Tom Brady won the Super Bowl? He's roaming the pier at
100%,
and he's drunk as fuck.
I did not see that at all.
I gotta pull this up.
Be like, I don't even remember. Like, I don't even know what it is. The thing with me is like, I don't even know what I was doing. When the Super Bowl was happening. But all I know is like, for some odd reason, my family is just not accustomed to sports. It's really weird. Like.
No sports whatsoever?
Nothing. Like my dad was just not into that stuff. Like my dad's in love with movies, but he's never liked basketball, boxing, baseball, any of that stuff. Like he's just never been into that. So it's kind of like, obviously like it just never really like for us like attached to much and everything like that. I mean like he likes his movies, but then again like I'm I'm not gonna watch a movie every single day. Like, dude, I have something to do all the time.
So I want to watch more movies. Actually, I've been trying to.
It's really inspiring to watch a movie and everything. Tom Brady best
storytelling, man, storytelling. But
I'm dead.
This isn't the clip. It's right after this. But so look, this is the guy who's supposedly the best quarterback of all time.
Supposedly,
freak athlete, GOAT, and he's being babysat drunk as fuck after winning the Super Bowl. Look at this guy. This guy's the one that just beat some of the top tier athletes in the entire world, and he's being like escorted and he's giggling.
But why was he getting escorted though?
Because he's super drunk.
Oh, hey, look.
This is a different. I don't think he's drunk anymore in this one. But look, he's so drunk.
I'm dead.
And you know, these athletes, they don't drink when they're in season. I mean,
they shouldn't 100%. Just because like there's so much training and everything involved. Like, I feel like you can't 100%. That's like torture right there. Like, they do so much stuff. I don't even know how they do that. I mean, well, then again, I can't say anything because I barely be sleeping. So I was like, you know what? I can't even say anything because I'd be torturing myself in different ways. But the working out aspect, I used to work out, but I can't do it anymore since I don't sleep a lot and my sleep schedule is messed up. Like, I have a lot of people that work out and friends, and they just told me they're like, don't work out because the process, the most important process is when you're sleeping, that your body is like obviously recuperating and the recovery. So they're like, if you're not even sleeping, don't even work out. So I had to stop working out because I was like, yeah, we're going to die.
I had a friend.
So we're going to die.
I had a friend saying how we were watching like a basketball game or something, and he was like, oh, man, it must be so easy to make that much money doing that. Like, I play basketball all the time. I'm like, bro, this is like, their job is competitive as fuck. There's only like 300 professional basketball players in the NBA. It's hard to make a roster.
I mean, they literally have to like get up 4 or 5 in the morning, all this other stuff. They have a strict regimen diet. So, well, actually, one of my really good friends, he used to be a chef for a lot of those people. And he was telling me like they have like a very specific diet and all this other stuff. And sometimes like he would get calls. He'd be like, let's say in Florida, and they'd be like, hey, I need like a meal. And they fly him out to LA just to make a meal and all that stuff for him, like for those people. So it's kind of like they need to like follow a very strict diet in general. It's like even with people, actors in movies, when they want to bulk up, they go ham, they go crazy. Like they'll be like, even Tom Holland, when he was waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning to like
did you see the new movie?
Body. Spider-Man. I loved it and I hated it at the same time, 100%.
What was the hate part? Spoilers alert.
Spoilers.
If you haven't watched it yet, I'm sorry. Fast forward maybe a minute or two.
It's all right, but I don't think it's much of a spoiler. It's just when all the villains come into like his universe, and then he tries to help them, and he like heals them or whatever it is. And so
like that construct.
So the thing is like then it defeats the purpose of the other Spider-Man, because what made them who they were those villains, like the deaths of them, or like them sacrificing themselves. That's what shaped them to be who they are. Yeah. So the fact that he fixed them, it was kind of like, dang, like all the stuff that those guys did isn't like as like deep anymore because you just fixed them. Like the Green Goblin guy, he's not dead anymore. He's alive. So it's kind of like now he doesn't have that conscience on his head. Yeah, this is really spoiler, but like Green Goblin, Spider-Man 1 is from Spider-Man 1. So obviously, yeah, exactly. So obviously, like, he's not dead anymore and like he's alive, or like the Sandman guy and all this stuff. And you're just like, so I loved it. It was really good. But then it was like, dang, like it defeated the purpose of every other Spider-Man. Like when they were like, oh, like, you know, in other words, they were like, we understand how you feel, like when you're at your lowest of low and everything. But it's because like everything that had happened to them, like leading up to it. So
I wonder how tight Tobey Maguire and Andrew
supposedly
Garfield
Tom Holland has a group chat with them that they don't respond to. They were like that he made of them, but like he'll be like, hey, we're the Spider-Man, but they never responded to it.
Yeah, because I mean Tom Holland has had the best of luck being in the Avengers, like some of the number one movies ever. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, they weren't in the Avengers.
I think like for Tobey Maguire, I think he's fine just because he literally like paved the way for a lot of like, besides Iron Man, but I feel like he paved a lot of like the superhero movies. So I think he was fine just because literally like that was like, especially probably the first and second Spider-Man probably like went crazy like with sales and all that stuff. I feel like the Amazing Spider-Man probably wasn't as like crazy great, just because it was already done before. The concept was already done, but at least Tom Holland being involved in Avengers, it'd be like, oh my gosh, like this guy's in this and everything. So it changes it up. Probably he's made so much money. I mean, he's like gonna be in the new Uncharted movie. I forgot what other movie he was in.
The Pole Pirate vibe. Never mind.
Uncharted's like a video game, but like they're making it into a movie. So he's like the main actor for it and all that
Tom
stuff.
Holland.
So yeah, I mean,
I saw him in a scary movie. The Devil Inside or something like that. Something about the devil.
with Daisy Ridley.
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know actor names very well.
Daisy Ridley's the chick from Star Wars.
Oh, is she? Which chick?
The chick that Ray, she's Ray.
Oh, she is Ray? Okay, yeah,
so,
I know her. Got you.
I don't know if that's the movie you're talking about, because he did a movie with her.
Did it have the devil somewhere in the title?
It was the movie was about how there was no women and it was all men, because I think the women can read like the men's minds, so they killed them all.
Yes, that was the movie.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. So that was that movie was awful. So
seeing Tom play that was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
not impressive, but I mean, it's just cool to see.
It's actually a bad movie, 100%. It's just a really weird. It's a weird movie. 100%.
Yeah, you can watch it at midnight, but don't like.
I actually don't mind watching scary movies at midnight. Like I can watch a scary movie before I go to sleep. I'm pretty much fine with it. Just like.
You're a psychopath.
Well, the thing is, like, dude, I don't sleep. And if I do sleep, my body probably is going to shut down regardless, whatever I watch. And I have, like, pretty crazy sleep paralysis. So, like.
Do you really?
I do. I get it a lot of the times,
so
actually.
You're stuck 100%. And you can see and you're looking?
So, most of the time when it happens to me, my eyes are closed and everything like that. So, my body, I'm already like this. And then my body's already, like, frozen. And it is an overwhelming feeling. Like, because your mind is awake, but your body's just kind of like frozen there, and you just feel like you're trapped, and you just get like an overwhelming feeling of just like your body, like you just want to move. And then so it feels like it builds up, and then you're just like, all right, I can move now, finally. Like my body finally wakes up. I get a lot of the time, dude. It's really, I'm telling you, when I say
is it euphoric? Is it like a euphoric feeling, or is it only
No,
bad?
it's pretty bad. Like I feel like I've gotten used to it already. So it's kind of because it happens so many times. Like, it's more of like an inconvenience now. It's kind of like, oh, great, now I have this. Now I got to like sit on my couch and watch TV just for my body to shut down eventually or something like that. But like, that's why I'm wearing glasses, by the way. Like, I don't sleep. So that's why, like, probably everybody's like, man, this guy's a jackass or this guy's an ass.
Yeah, if Casey and I said
wearing glasses, be like, oh, this guy's cool. Literally, like, one of my biggest inspirations, his name is like Tyler Shields. He's like the only person I aspire to be. Like, I don't have anybody that I aspire to be in my life and everything.
Tyler Shields?
Tyler Shields, 100%. That man is
personal shit.
Like, there's a lot of people, like, you know how there's a lot of people in life where, like, you can draw inspiration from them. Like, they are either people that you just want to take some things out of because they're really good. Yeah, that's a real lion, 100%. That was in his backyard. He got a real lion in LA to take a picture with. Literally, that's an actual real picture, and it was shot on film, so it wasn't even digital. Like he shoots every photo on film, which is even crazier. Like I can barely shoot a good photo on digital, so can you imagine shooting it on film?
What separates him? Why do you want to be like him?
So there's a couple things.
That's cool.
So yes,
that's cool.
That's one of his. It's one of his biggest pictures. He has another picture like bro. He has another picture like that. That's even crazier, where it's a black man hanging. One of a Ku Klux member. I think if you click on that photo, it probably will show up in the related. There it is. You see right there? That's one of his best photos and everything. Where it's
my heart almost beats when I see this, bro.
It's almost like he has a series called like I forgot what it's called, but in other words, it's like like fiction, like in other words, like historical fiction, where it's kind of like things that never happened in the past, but it's kind of like what if. So he did a series where it's crazy, where he's like, what if the roles were reversed and there was actually black cops that are racist to white people? So he like takes a lot of concepts, he'll switch it around. He's really good. So like him, the reason why I love him so much, there's like so many different things, is first of all, he shoots on film. So like already then and there, when you're shooting on film, you don't know that Trump photo. Yeah. The thing is like, you don't know like necessarily how something will look until you develop it. So it's kind of like I can shoot a photo on my digital camera. Like you can shoot it on there and you can see it then and there. When you shoot a film photo, you don't know what the results are going to be until you get it back. So it's kind of like I shot the photo. I'm going to have to wait a week. So it's kind of like that's such a dangerous concept because you don't know. But him, like, he's my only aspiration. There's a lot of people that I'm like, they're cool. Like Elon Musk, let's say, like, oh, I want to be a rich businessman like him. Like, there's like people that like, oh yeah, I would like to be like that. Like, he's my biggest inspiration because he has such a crazy work ethic, tenacity. His eye is crazy. Like, if you look at his stuff and then you kind of like compare them side by side, you'll be like, okay, I see the similarities or where your inspiration draws from. But like, he said a story one day, man, and it was so crazy. Like, everything he said, he was like, oh, like for 3 years, he was like, he slept on his friend's couch and only ate one slice of pizza, like for 3 years straight. Like, only one slice of pizza every week. That's all he could afford because he refused to do anything else but photography. So, like, that's what I'm saying.
So he refused to, like,
he refused to get like a normal job. He refused to, he just wanted to become a photographer. So that's all he did. So that's all he could pretty much afford. Like, just a slice of pizza every week.
That's some
for 3 years.
Shit.
So literally, like, when I think about him, it's kind of like, and this is with no social media at all. So like, this guy did that for 3 years. Like, I get passionate about it because it's crazy, but like, did it for 3 years consistently. And then one day, like, he went to like this party and all this stuff, and he just bumped into like a famous person. They saw his stuff and they were like, yo, shoot me right now. So he did literally a photo shoot of them. And then after he shot that person, he blew up. A whole bunch of famous people started hitting up, and he became a celebrity photographer. But it just shows, like, obviously, well, you got to be in the right place at the right time, 100%. I feel like that you have to be 100%. Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm just good, so someone's going to see me, like, how good I am. But, man, like him, he, like, imbued commitment, 100%. Like, that man is just committed. Like, doing that for 3 years. And then he even said, like, he's like, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't do all that stuff. And it's kind of like, there's a lot of creative people I know where they'll do drugs, they'll do all that stuff because they're trying to open up their mind or whatever it is. And I'm like, bro, like, the fact that the guy doesn't even do anything, but he comes up with like those crazy pictures like you saw with like the KKK member, and he has so much crazy other stuff. It's just like, it's an inspiration. It's like, damn, like, imagine this guy was doing all this with nothing at all 15 years ago. Can you imagine me with social media, how much more I could do? So that's why I kill myself. That's why I kill myself. I don't, not literally, but like, I literally like this. I tell people, I'm like, I destroy myself because I'm like, dude, like, if someone can do that with barely nothing, what excuse do I have? Like, I have a phone, like, I have my camera, I have a car, I literally have a house I can sleep in, I have social media, I have connections, all this stuff. So I'm like, what's my excuse for not being successful? What's my excuse for not getting to this point? So that's why I kill myself, because I'm like, dude, like, everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to make this a career. Everybody wants to make this full time, but nobody is willing to literally like lose sleep. Nobody's willing to sacrifice themselves at the end of the day. And I'm like, bro, I will kill myself if I had to do. I will literally lose sleep if I've had to. I've had days where I didn't sleep for 2 days. Is it crazy? 100%. Is it healthy? Yeah, it's not healthy at all. But it's kind of like, nobody will do that in their right mind. Most people are like, I need my sleep. I need to do this. I have my schedule. Like, there's so many, like, there's a photographer I know where I told her, I was like, hey, there's only 3 people in the state that I like their photography, and you're one of them. So if I say that to someone, it means a big deal. And literally, even her, she told me, she was like, yeah, you know, I wanted to start doing photography less and less and doing this and blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of like, I told her, I'm disappointed, not because, you know, you're not going to do some big moves somewhere else, but it's kind of like, almost like, dude, if you literally like just sacrificed and did all this stuff, you could go miles ahead of someone else. So I feel like that separates a lot of people, like, especially like, let's say you, like, I don't know how much like energy, time you put into this, but like that's what's going to separate you from a lot of people. Like, everybody would probably like to start a podcast, be like, oh yeah, I get to talk to people, have conversations, yeah. But it doesn't mean you're going to break your literal back doing it. And not a lot of people are willing to do it. Like, I tell people, I'm like, dude, like, that's where probably my sleep paralysis comes from, just because I don't sleep 100%. Like, literally, I slept today for like 3 hours. Just like, I stayed up, did my errands, all this other stuff. And then when I went to go take my little nap, 3 hours I slept and all that stuff. And then when I'm gone, I have a shoot with my client. And then I have another job, by the way. I work through the night. It's super easy job. I work in the warehouse. It's like 21 an hour. So it's easy as heck. That's why like I'm up at night besides like editing. But it's kind of like, I go to a shoot, then I go to my normal job, and then I go home to edit. And then we like start doing, and then obviously I have like, let's say work or all that stuff. So
Have you always not slept? Like,
no,
has this been since like...
I used to love, like, I love sleeping, man. I used to like sleep all the time and everything like that, 100%. But I realized like, I mean, they say like half your life is, you know, you sleeping. Not saying that that's my excuse right there, but at this point, like I was just like, I've met so many successful people. Like I met forgot what his name was, but I met this like rich guy the other day. We shot at his house. He gave me his book. He signed it. And like, obviously this doesn't even sound bad. He's like, oh yeah, no, I just sleep like for 5 hours and all this stuff. But obviously he's made it. He's a millionaire. So obviously he doesn't need to kill himself. But like when you see people that have just like, when they've reached like that pinnacle, that point, you know that they did not like just fall into that, or they're just like, oh yeah, I just happened to do this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, bro, they did not sleep. You know that they went through mental breakdowns. You know, like they do it all, like, you know, they went through it. So like, those are like my biggest, like Tyler Shields, biggest inspiration, all that stuff. Like when I feel like quitting, I'm just like, dude, like I know my goal in the end, like what I want to do and all this stuff. I was like, so like, I want to get this done. Like, I think like last year, I think in like December, I was like, you know what? I feel like closing my page. I think I'm done with this already because it's like too much stuff. I wasn't going to do it because I've committed to this. So that would be stupid as hell to like be like, yeah, I'm done. But it's like one of those thoughts of just like you wanting to quit. Like in the end, like when you don't sleep, and then literally when you have like dumb people or clients or models or whatever it is, like doing all this stuff where you're just like, what is happening? Like, I remember there was a model that owed me like $400 and all that stuff. So it's like stupid crap like that, man, that you come across and you're just like, I feel like giving up. But I always remember, I'm like, nah, bump this crap. I was like, I don't care about anything. I was like, I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm going to be successful regardless. Like, I know I'm going to be successful, but it's because I'm going to break my back doing it 100%. Because I was like, I feel like talent only gets you so far. There are a lot of talented people, 100%. But like hard work trumps talent any day out of the week.
I say that shit all the time. Hard work beats talent.
Yeah, 100%. Literally, like there's so many people where like you can technically already, like I'm a musician. So like I've always been surrounded by a lot of singers, all this stuff, guitarists and everything like that. And we know amongst ourselves, like some people have just an innate nature to pick up things,
yes.
100%. But the people that don't, but they go crazy training and they do all that stuff, they just pass you because they've done more commitment. Like I played guitar for like 12 years. Am I good at it? Sure, whatever. I don't even care and all that stuff. But there's people that have literally played for like maybe 3 to 5 years. But since they've been so committed and so like intricate with like a lot of details and stuff like that, they pass me up. Do I care? No, of course not, because that's not my thing. Photography is my thing. But it's like, you know, like when you put so much of that work, 100%, like you're just like, I know I'm going to do it.
Do you have an innate skill for photography at all? And I
know 100%.
You can go ahead
no.
and take a sip of water. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'll do the same.
I don't think I
100% no?
No, 100%. I don't think so. I feel like I just come from a creative background. So whatever I do, I'm just going to do it. Because remember, like I used to be a graphic designer before. So like if you saw like a lot of my work before, it was very weird. Like it was very like almost like over the top. Like if I could show you, it's archived. So obviously like no one could see it. But like I used to be a graphic designer before. So boom, it's kind of like I used to do designs, I made shirts, logos, all this other stuff. And a lot of people, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so talented. Who cares? And then when I was doing music, because I like recorded some stuff like on some albums, all this other crap. Like when I was doing it, there was a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, like, you know, you've been given a gift to like do this and all this other stuff. Like keep doing it, whatever. So like, I feel like regardless of what I do, I'm going to do it like to a certain extent, like 100% of my time. I just feel like I'm a creative person. And when you're just creative, whatever you get your hands on, you're just going to do it. Just photography is the one thing that stuck to me the most.
What is it about photography? What is it?
I think it's because I can create a concept and I can just meet people. I think that's what it is. Like, it's probably the one thing that I can meet the most people. And like we're a graphic design, you're not necessarily meeting with people. Like, there's no like face-to-face connection. And I was talking to my aunt about it because my aunt is a crazy graphic designer. She works in the industry, like movie industry, where she makes designs for like posters, all this other stuff and everything. And I was telling her, I was like, the reason why I stopped doing graphic design is because clients are annoying as hell. Like they pissed me off. Like they were just, it was so much of a back and forth, and it wasn't worth it to me, the amount of work I was putting in for like anything. And like you have clients like that in photography, but it doesn't feel as like bad. I met you, so you're not just a screen. Like you're just not a text on the thing. At least we met each other. So like
it's a little bit deeper.
Yeah. So I feel like it connected with me more because I don't need to do, I can do a lot of the things that I was doing in the other avenues with it. So let's say for like graphic design, you could take a photo, I can manipulate it, make it any way I want, sure. But for photography, I could technically make you do that beforehand so that all I need to do is just take the picture and it's already done. I just need to edit it. So I did a shoot on domestic violence. Like it's just more of a personal project, but I did it on domestic violence because like most of the time when you see domestic violence, it's women, but I never see it for guys. And I know a lot of guys that have been like either like abused verbally or physically, all that stuff.
And sometimes people's girls just hit them every once in a while.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's not like an abusive relationship, but like every once in a while.
And everybody's like, oh, you're a guy. You got to man up and all that stuff. Yeah. So like I did a shoot on that. Like I edited photos, but they're just like with me for now. But I edited it where like I had the makeup artist literally make him look like he got wrecked. And then literally like if you see the picture, his neck is getting grabbed by like a hand, but she has jewelry. Her nails are done. So it's almost like a weird juxtaposition of like you would feel like someone manlier or someone that like is bulkier would do that damage, but it's like no, anybody can do that abuse. And then there's another photo where like she's licking like the blood off his face, but she's like a beautiful woman. But it's supposed to emphasize the fact of like almost like anybody can do it. Anybody can be abusive at the end of the day. So like
especially a beautiful woman.
Exactly, and all that stuff. So like that's why I think I've stuck with photography more. Just because like I feel like it's more of the experience. Like, shoot, I've shot the same photo the same time again and again. There's only so much of a difference you can do with like a photo, like me lighting up, shooting in a studio, et cetera, et cetera. But what makes it different or unique is just the people that you meet, like the experiences, and then obviously like the outcome of it after. So I feel like that's why it connected with me mostly. So
I fuck with your vocab. Yeah, you've been throwing a couple hidden gem vocab words.
I'm dead.
As a podcast host, I really appreciate that.
No, believe me. I told you, I was like, we'll have a good time, we'll conversation. I told someone one time where I was like, yeah, there's this girl I'm hooking up with and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, do you like her? And I was like, no, she's just really boring, man. And then they're like, oh, you can't talk to her? And I was like, no. I can talk to a wall. I can talk to a wall for 2 hours and do nothing. Like, I can hold a conversation up. That's not the problem. The problem is if you're interesting or not. So like with you, I was like, bro, I got you. You could be the most quiet person in the world. And I can just keep talking. I've literally had to force myself and build the trait of talking. I work with so many people. So you come across so many different characters. Like you come across people that are awkward, that are quiet, that are shy, that are really excited, that are really loud, that are really like cringy, that are like not cringy, all that stuff. And you have to figure out how to
intimidating too.
Yeah,
maybe.
You have to navigate through a lot of these personalities in the end and figure out how it is with some people. I'm like, hell yeah, man. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And some people I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm like, let's get this done, get this. Like, it really depends like who I'm with, and my energy will either like increase, decrease, or I'll just like, depending how it is. Like I am now, this is how pretty much I am most of the time, like in my normal situations. But like other times I know like some situations ask for different things. Like if I shoot a wedding, 100% I had to put a persona on, like where I got to be like, oh my gosh, that looks so good, guys, and everything. Oh, I love the hand. I love this and that.
It's their day,
yeah. But that's not me. Clearly, I'm not gonna go to someone and be like, oh my gosh, you look so good. I'm not doing that crap. I'll be like, yeah, bro, you look cool. Like you look chilling and everything.
What's weird with this podcast is a lot of people who have listened to every single episode, or like listened to a lot of the episodes, say I don't know them or know anything about them. When they come up to me, they know so much about me. And so they'll be talking about things I've said before, not reciting it, but just like instantly like...
you know how weird that is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you were thinking about going to Tampa to live or some shit like that. And I'd be like, oh, I forget that my life story is on our rectangles in our pockets, bro. And people can listen to this. But it's super really interesting because it makes me so comfortable. I'm like, okay, I'm not playing a persona of my Instagram modeling pics, which I have none, but I'm saying like my persona is fucking me talking into a mic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's you. It's literally you in the
Yeah.
end. I just find it more, I laugh. It's funny because people have literally told me stuff where I just don't remember. And I'll be like, did I really say that? And it's just sometimes the most messed up things. Like there was one time I was shooting. This is something that you don't do. If there's like a photographer watching this and you're starting out, this is not what you do. But there's one time I was shooting a model and then she just told me like she had broken up with her ex and all this stuff not too long ago. And then I was like, oh, he's probably like already with a new girl. Like the way she made it sound, she was like, oh yeah, like, you know, he broke up with me. And I was like, oh, if a guy breaks up with you, 100% he's with a new girl right now. And like her visible sadness like came on her face. She was so sad. But like literally like the inspiration with the shoot was sad. So like when I said that, it worked perfectly. But then I had forgotten about that 100%. Like we're actually really good friends now, which is the ironic part. And they brought it up to me like months and months later. They're like, you remember when you said that to me? And I was like, did I really say that? And I was like, I'm a dick. I was like, that is so messed up. But it's like, there's so many, I can only imagine for you because you're visibly like talking. Like you're actually saying stuff all the time, like on the podcast. At least with me, if someone quotes something or says something, it's because we were in person when we said it. So obviously that's what they're calling back to. But with you, it's literally like every single conversation you have like on this, like it's getting shared. So then people are obviously like listening to that. And dude, like even for me, I forget what I say like in a week's time. Like I'd be saying a lot of things. Like a week feels like a month for me just because things are going like so fast.
Yeah.
So like I don't remember anything I said like in a week's time. I'd be like, did I really say that?
Yeah.
If someone didn't record that, I'd be like, did I really say that?
It was so easy to find a niche within the podcast space where my niche is. So I'm a guest-based podcast. There's no fucking niche. Like we talk about anything and everything.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I have anybody on. There is
really?
no niche.
Okay. You know, I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if he's going to ask like some preliminary questions or not. And I was like, yes, sir. What is the questions?
Literally my niche that I have in all my bios, it says real conversations, parenthesis, and untraditional approach, parenthesis. That's the fucking niche. Because there's no podcast where it's just, there's no outline. I have talking points here, but there's probably only one that we actually brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, it was just us talking straight
It's just
through.
conversation, literally. Maybe you
people are hungry for that shit, man. People are driving.
Something
Somebody's
real.
commuting in their car right now, driving maybe an hour and a half to UCF or something, or driving 30 minutes to their job, and they're listening to it in parts. Or they're watching it on YouTube right now, laying in their bed, getting ready for.
I should probably watch podcasts and everything.
Have you never?
I have my phases of like media that I consume. So sometimes I'll be like on podcasts for a little bit, and then like I'll be in like music, like stage where I just listen to music, and then there's just sometimes where I'm just listening to like shows, just talking and everything. So it really depends. I think, by the way, I think I have ADHD 100% because when I'm doing work, like I don't know how many monitors you work on when you're editing. Like I have
2.
I have 3 monitors that are like all like, and then obviously my phone if like I just have it, but I have 3 monitors and they're all doing something different. So like sometimes I'm watching like, I have a movie on, I have a music or like ASMR or whatever it is, like just some noise in the background, and then I'm editing, and then maybe something extra. So like it's constantly my mind is like, so it's just keeping entertained.
You have all that playing while you're editing.
Yeah, just to keep myself entertained.
But, editing photos, not videos.
Editing photos. No, videos that
okay, I was gonna say what?
No, videos. It's definitely harder to do, but for photos,
yeah,
it's like I feel like I have ADHD 100% because I'm like I have so many things playing all at once when I'm editing just to keep myself entertained, just to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I have ADHD. But there's I like to be entertained, but I've and this is off the cuff, I've taken an Adderall before.
No,
maybe once,
I think that's normal, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I should buy some just because I actually feel like I do have it, just 100%.
Well, it didn't make me more focused. It just made me Superman.
I was about to say
it made me indestructible. I was Tony Stark for a day.
I was about to say I was like I feel like it would just make you be like, all right, like I'm on this like high right now where I'm just like boom. For me, I feel like I've never done it before, but like that's what I'm saying. I feel like you just have it.
Don't do it. At least do it if you want to, but don't do it from this conversation. Because
no.
Some people do that shit for years and
no.
When they're off of it,
100%. Like I've known people that do it. Like everybody reacts to it differently. Like with me, like the thing is this: like when you have only like 2 hours of sleep, clearly not healthy stuff. I'm like I don't condone any of this.
This isn't a
like,
promotion.
Yeah, this is not a promotion. But like when you sleep only for 2 hours, it's kind of hard to keep your brain constantly focused when you have sleep deprivation or like you're not sleeping at all. And a Monster or a Red Bull and coffee can only get you so far. Yeah. Like at some point, you're just increasing your heart rate at this point. Like I've drank 3 Monsters, like pretty much consecutively at the time, just to be like, all right, I got to get this done. Not healthy. Clearly you can get a heart attack from that, depending like how many times you do it. But like, I don't know. We'll see. Don't worry. I won't do it anytime
Well, it seems
soon.
like you're doing a great job. So, I mean, success is definitely coming your way.
I literally almost cried the other day because the couple that I shot with, Garrett and McKenna, super nice people. When I shot with them, like after we were done, I was just talking to them, and they were just being really nice. And I was like, stop being nice to me, because I was like, it was just making me kind of like emotional. Obviously, I wasn't gonna cry there, but it was just making me emotional because they were like, man, you're so good and everything. I'm dead. Why is there a line on my thing?
Yeah, what's going on right here?
What is that? What is that on my page?
What is that, man?
I don't know what that is. What the heck?
Is this like an Instagram update?
I don't.
Whoa, and it just corrected itself though.
Oh, it was the line.
Thing.
Oh, so
That's
it just kind of. I was really scared, dude, for a second.
These are
yeah, that's the couple right there. They were just really nice, man. And they were just like telling me, they were just like, man, like you're like, these are like one of the best photos that we've taken. You're so talented, blah 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 blah, and everything. And I was just like, stop making me cry, bro. Like, stop trying to make me cry, because like just hearing compliments like that when you're just like going through so much work, it just hits differently. And then even like after that, like I called a friend because they're the one that referred them to me. And I was like, hey, thanks for referring this couple. And they were like, dude, like if I didn't see potential in you, or like knowing that you could get far, you're gonna be making it big one day, I wouldn't like suggested you. And just hearing that stuff, you're just like 100%, like I was tearing up there, just because like when you're constantly working, when you're constantly breaking your back, when you're doing so many things, like the last thing you're thinking about is that stuff. Like you're just like, I'm just trying to work. Like I'm just trying to get my stuff done. I don't care if someone approves of it or not. So when you have a lot of people telling you all the time that they're like, man, like you're really good, it just does something to you. Like you feel almost humbled by it, because you're like, I really don't deserve this in the end. But
I have some friends that I haven't talked to in a long time, and pretty much every week they'll send a picture of them sitting down in their bed, and it's the podcast, and they're
really
like,
weird, dude.
I've like listened to every episode. To me, it's hard for me to consume my own work. You know 100%. How that is. It's hard to like look at your own photos without being a huge critic. So when they send it, sometimes I'm looking like, yeah. Then I'm like, I appreciate the love.
That's what I'm saying. It's really weird, man. Like I personally don't even like getting compliments. I pretty much hate most of them, anyways.
Compliments or getting gifts is so hard for me. Like if somebody hands me a gift, bro, tighten up.
A gift is fine, 100%. I feel weird about it.
I like it.
If a gift feels weird, 100%.
Where's the P.O. box?
I'll take the gift, but it doesn't mean I'll be like, oh my gosh, I got a gift. I'll be like, this is weird, but hey, I'll take it. But I think the compliments, they're weird to me because like most compliments don't matter to me, because the only people that I care about the compliment is my family. Like for people that like, obviously I'm not saying that the compliments from anybody else doesn't matter. 100%. Like when everybody says like, oh my gosh, you're so good, or you're so inspirational, obviously that's going to do something to me. That's going to make me feel good. At least I feel like I'm doing something right. But like the things that matter to me the most are like my family. Like if they say that they hate something or whatever it is, that affects me more than like 1,000 people tell me they like something in the end. But it's really weird when people like just give me compliments. I hate it because I'm like, I don't want it to get to my head. Like there was one time I went to a coffee shop, and then they're like, you're Jimmy Fermin, right? They're like, you're the guy that takes the photos. And I was like, yeah, I guess I am. I'm the one. I don't even like telling people I take photos at the end of the day.
Same.
It feels really weird at the end of the day. But like when I went to TJ's thing, that was the funniest thing, because when I went to TJ's thing, everybody was like, hey man, how's it going? What's your name? And I was like, oh, like I'm Jimmy. And they're like, oh, you're Jimmy. They're like, oh, you're Jimmy. You're the one that TJ or Val or Gabby talks about all the time. And I was like, why? I was like, why is that? They're like, yo, dude. They're like, I love your stuff, bro, all the time and everything like that. So I felt like even going through those situations or like those like environments like that, you're just like, this is really weird, bro. Just because you don't want to be like, thanks, man, I know I'm good. But at the same time, you don't want to just disregard someone's compliment and be like,
yeah. Well, I'm a realist with myself. Like I know my downfalls, and I know my strengths, and I know like what I'm working on, and like I used to have like insecurities, quote unquote, but now I know what my insecurities are, and the fact that I know what they are makes them impossible to touch. As soon as you accept a compliment, you're kind of living in a fairy tale world. If you kind of like, they complimented me on that, but I know that was like, I already knew that, or I know that's not true. Or like if somebody hates on you, you believe the hate if you believe the compliment.
Yeah, 100%. We're wired like that. You can get 1,000 good compliments or like positive things, and it's just one person that says something mean or rude or they're like negative, and you're like, you'll literally latch onto that more than the positive, just because that's how we're wired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I feel like with social media especially, we live in like a little bit of a vacuum of like, since people that usually follow you or like your stuff and everything are usually like-minded like you, so of course they're gonna like your stuff, they're gonna compliment your stuff, and that, like, a lot of people, they'll take it as like they think they're good because they have that vacuum going, until someone kind of like tells them they don't like it or whatever it is, or critiques them, and it almost shatters that person's like whole world and everything like that. Like, even with me, I don't even like giving people critiques unless they ask for it. Unless you're asking for it, then I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll give you a little bit of my tidbit. But other than that, I'm like, I don't give my opinion where it's not asked for. I don't care for it. I'm like, unless if I'm not asking for it or you're not asking for it, clearly I'm not going to be like, hey, I think this photo sucks or something like that. I just keep it to myself because I'm like, who am I to speak, or who am I to like judge anything like that? You know what I mean? So
I saw this TikTok video, and it was actually Logan Paul saying this, and he said, I treat people how I want to be treated. He's like, that's why I like am brutally honest with people. You know how TikTok has those short videos where
the
it's
little
a quick
like
thing.
quotes.
I'm like, yeah, like I treat
TikTok?
people how I want to be. Yeah, bro. I talk into a mic and I post on TikTok, so you best believe I know what hate comments are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, TikTok. I was like, dude.
There was a TJ clip from the podcast that I posted on TikTok, and there was this guy that was just like a dick, like commented like, can't remember what he commented, but it was just a really negative comment. Comments. TikTok is, I don't get any hate comments on YouTube. No negative DMs. Usually no negative comments on Instagram, but for some reason TikTok, man, that's just where they live.
It's a lot of children.
People scroll and click and then instantly, fuck you, you suck, man.
It's that audience of just like the hyper like it's like constantly on the move. It's like 15-second clips, and you have a lot of children, because that's the thing. Like, that app is for people that have like it's good if you have like a low attention span. So it's kind of like you're gonna do that stuff. You're gonna be like, this sucks right here. Boom. Just move on.
Most of the content on TikTok is so low quality. I understand it has its place where it's like a text box and a sound in the background and somebody recording on their iPhone doing a dance or doing a quick skit.
Showing their body.
Yeah. But it's so low quality. Like, even Vine before was higher quality and there was less creators, because
you were bound to only 15 seconds.
Yeah.
How much can you do in 15
At
seconds?
first it was 7, wasn't it? On Vine?
I have no idea.
At first all I know is 7.
like, if it was only 7, then truly, that's what I'm saying. You could only do so much. So it's kind of like what catches someone's attention or what's the funniest and everything. So
TikTok now, you can post like
a minute,
3 minutes.
Oh, really?
I think it might be 3 minutes. I've seen, you might be right because I don't know it like that, but I think I've seen 3 minutes.
I remember when they went a minute, I was like, oh, this is cool. But I was like, man, this might be overkill for some people.
I've always thought of doing a vertical vlog series because I think people are consuming their content vertically, but I think there's a stigma there where when people have their phone in vertical, they have like less attention span. As soon as you flip that phone into horizontal,
that you're watching,
you're consuming and you're ready to like sit down and kind of like listen to a more like long form sort of video. So one day I do want to start like a vertical vlog thing. I just quit my 9 to 5.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't really have a 9 to 5. It's more of a
overnight.
Overnight. I'm a manager, so that's why like I work. That's why I still work there, because I can technically not do what I want, but I can technically do what I want. Like, there's some days where like I'll sit in the office chilling, editing for like 2-3 hours.
It's a good gig
like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So at least it's not like I'm doing extraneous work. But congratulations.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, my job was a good gig, and I worked with amazing people. But Lucy, and if all the sponsors, you guys better click on those because that helps me out. Thank you so much.
I'm dead.
Yeah, there's like I do baked in reads. So as we've been recording.
So
every
something like goes
20-30 minutes there's a
This episode is sponsored by blah, blah, blah.
Hey, you know what? That literally is. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's how you know that you pretty much have a lot of things planned out in your mind, because I think I was invited to like 2 podcasts beforehand, and I was like, I'm good. I'm not doing it. But they were like they were just really casual. Like they were just like, even the mics were kind of like meh. The setup was like really weird too. It was just like a white room in the end, and I was just like, that's what I'm saying. Like you can see the difference where it was just legitimately like a podcast, like where they're just talking, but they didn't have any of that like sponsorship stuff. They didn't have like a lot of those little things.
This is my baby, man. I don't have a baby, and if I did have one, it would be this.
That's what I'm saying.
It keeps me up at night.
It changes a lot, man. That's what I'm saying. When you have something like this, everything changes in your life. Ooh, sorry about that. Just like
squared up.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh my gosh. That's how passionate.
Solid.
That's how passionate I was right there. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
literally.
your podcast is, I love your pow.
I'd be like, at this point, if you were not awake, you'd be awake. You'd be like, oh my gosh, this guy just punched.
I hope that was a loud noise too on the audio.
I mean, I didn't even hear anything on mine, but I just feel like my ring like definitely like hit right there. So I was like,
somebody has their AirPods in working out, listening, and they just flinch.
I know 100%, bro. You're too much of a perfectionist to leave that in. So I know you'll probably just like, in. Oh really?
This runs straight unless the person said something they want me to take out, which has only happened 0 times.
Oh, okay. That's why.
It goes.
You just leave it.
Through.
Dang.
An untraditional
I feel
approach.
so bad for that person that they can be like, God damn it, be like, what the hell is that noise right there?
Yeah.
So
no edits are made. Just baked in reads.
Okay, that works in perfectly then.
Yeah.
That makes it probably easier for you.
Yeah. If I do need a bleep, or I do need like a split or like a timestamp to where it pauses, and then I'll tell my editor live. I'll be like, hey, I gotta go pee or something.
Oh.
So hey, I gotta pee. Just fast forward it. I'll make it funny too. So
like, guys,
the audience
I'm gonna use the bathroom right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting up, and then you literally like leave 5 minutes later, and it's still on the podcast. The person's just sitting there by themselves and everything. That'd be pretty funny.
I started I had my editor on the podcast a couple times now, but I had him on, and literally like 10 minutes in, he's like, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm like, bro, we just fucking
You're
started.
like just started. You know what was your tagline for your bio for your podcast? What was it?
Real conversations, parenthesis, and untraditional approach, parenthesis.
When you said untraditional approach, I was like, I wonder if he would ever do shots, like a podcast
on the podcast.
Shots.
Yeah,
just
I
like
would.
Like you would just call it a series. Like it'd be like not a drunk series, because obviously whatever it is. But I was like, I wonder if like that would just play off that idea of like, you know, since we're so casual and we're like so nonchalant, be like, if you just take a shot every like 30 minutes, what would happen? Like, well, how the conversation would like,
where would it go?
So slowly devolve. Probably wouldn't be the best, just because people like get brutally honest, obviously, when they start drinking more and more. So, but I think when you said that, it literally reminded me of that. I was like, I wonder what happened if like he started drinking on the podcast.
Next time we have you on, we will do some shots.
100%.
What do you want? Whiskey, bourbon, tequila?
I usually drink Grey Goose, but I know that's disgusting for most people just because it tastes like medicine.
It all tastes medicine to me, brother. I'm not. You think so?
No. So there was a shot, TJ. I took a picture of it because this man put me on.
Wow.
It was a Colombian drink, bro. And literally, like, it tasted so good. And it tasted almost like, I know it sounds so disgusting, but it tasted almost like black licorice. Almost. Or like, sort of. And black licorice is disgusting, like candy, whatever it is.
Yeah, it is.
But in a form of like a drink, when drinks are just so gross or they're really strong.
They're so heavy.
Yeah, heavy. Yeah. Or you just feel like you just like want to throw up when you take one. That had the best taste of like something strong, but it worked so well with it. I was like,
that makes sense.
Dude, I literally told him, I was like, dude, I can drink like 6 shots of this just because like it felt so good drinking it. It's strong, but it was going in. I took a picture of that bottle. I was like 100%. So I'll send it to you. I'll be like, yo, this is the bottle right here, just because it sits so well through. And we were drinking it with beer and they just went so perfectly with it. I was like, dude, like this is like the best.
Would you want to be back on with TJ at some point?
Dude, if TJ was on, I would 100% clown this man right here.
Doohickey right there.
100%. If TJ was on, I would clown that man so much. I would be like 100% just stories or things like to talk about. 100% I'll do it. I'll literally call him right now if he actually picks up the dang phone.
I told TJ I'm going to tell my kids that he was Justin Bieber.
Bro, 100%. No, I told TJ, I was like, bro, you're going to be famous one day, 100%. I was like, just focus on like what's mostly important. Cause like, obviously, like I told you, I was making fun of him about like, there's a girl that he's interested in, and anything. But I tell him like, in all seriousness, I was like, bro, don't care about the crap. I was like, focus on yourself and make your money, do what you need to do and get successful. Because I've told so many, even for myself, the reason why I don't have a girl is not because be like, oh, I'm lonely. How much time do we have? At least, so I know. Are we good on time?
I was just getting a text, but I mean, we've ran 2 hours, and I know my editor is gonna be fucking pissed at me. But you're a great guest. So the conversation, a lot of the times. So, real quick detour.
Yeah.
In the middle
Of course, go.
A lot of times, every once in a while, I'll toss the ball over there, and then the ball will come immediately back.
What do you mean?
And then I'll toss the ball back over there. Sometimes I'll have like the greatest like topics or the greatest like little like funny stories or conversations, and every once in a while, I've had amazing guests. But you have just done really good with grabbing the ball and like really like dribbling it and really like speaking your mind. Because some people will grab it and say a little something and then throw it right.
You'd be like, man, what's your favorite food? And then they'd be like, oh, macaroni. Yeah, and that's it. But it'd be like, oh, what's your favorite food? I'd be like, macaroni, but I think it's because my little sister loves it a lot. So it's kind of like, I had to like,
and I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah, exactly. No, I had to like, I used to be heavily involved in church beforehand. And so like, I had to literally talk a lot. And then obviously working with clients. So and like a whole bunch of people. So you literally have to like learn the art of conversation 100% of the time. Like I've read books. So like I've had to learn it. Like at the end of the day, how to talk to people. Like, and I love talking. Not even like I want to hear myself talk, but I love talking to people at the end of the day. Like I'm introverted, but I do a lot of extroverted like characteristics like this. Like just because I'm talking a lot doesn't mean I'm like, oh yeah, I'm extroverted. Like I just show that energy, or it's because I know how to talk, but it's not necessarily I'm like, oh yeah, I love it.
I'm introverted as fuck. Like I spend all my time alone.
100%.
Like I've been alone the entire day except for I had to do a study group, and now I'm with you.
Yeah, 100%. Don't worry.
Alone, bro.
Literally, like I prefer it just because like I'm always around people, so I need to reset.
That's your work, yeah.
I need to reset my battery here and there, so that's like how I am in general. But yeah, no, with TJ, and I guess we can wrap it up with like the TJ thing and everything like that, because obviously I have my shoe technically.
I was looking at
like,
that.
Yeah. I was like, technically, I have my shoe right now, so. No, so with TJ, I've told him, and I've told a lot of photographers, a lot of creative people that have come to me, because like I've like people always ask me about like little things in there. Like I'm like, bro, like don't worry about, especially as a male, like we always want kind of like that female connection or relationship. And I'm like, I've told people, I'm like, bro, don't care about that stuff. I was like, I've told like photographers, I was like, you think that I'm single because I'm like, oh, I can't find a girl. I was like, no. I was like, that's not even a thing. I was like, I work with so many women. I'm put on the map with so many people. I just have that already, like not the models, like that's not what I'm saying, but I'm just put on the map that everybody just knows of me.
Right.
So I don't have that like like what's that one word? I don't have the like struggle of being like, dang, I can't find anybody, or I have to put myself out there. I'm already out there. Like so many people know me, so I don't have a problem with a lot of that stuff. But I've told like a lot of people, I'm like, dude, like nobody's going to pay for your money. Like nobody's going to pay for anything that you do. Nobody's going to pay for your bills. Nobody's going to do anything for you. You have to do everything yourself. And I've told him, I've told a lot of people, I'm like, don't let anybody distract you from the real goal at hand. I was like, women will always be there. Like a lot of that stuff will always be there, but like time is not always there. You can always get money back, but time isn't. Mm-hmm. So I was like, with your time, grind it. Literally do everything that you can. Because I was like, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I knew, so my girl is hella fucking independent, bro. And I knew I couldn't, I'm not into the whole dependent, you know how some relationships are, the girl just follows the guy everywhere.
Exactly.
He goes. I'm not into that shit. I want my girl to be balling. I want to ball, and I want my girl to ball, but not because of me.
Exactly.
So there's been a lot of hard truth, especially exploring something like this. Like, I'm a fucking weirdo, bro. Do you see what I'm doing right now? Like, this is not, take weirdo with a weird, like a different connotation.
I was like, brother, I've met some weirdos. I think you're good.
Yeah.
I was like, I've met some really corny and weird
But this
people.
is a very different path to take.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Other creatives, you understand. You're a creative.
100%.
You get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've been told many times, be like, just do a normal job. Don't do photography and all that stuff. So I understand completely.
Yeah. So there's been some like not hard conversations, but I guess hard conversations I've had to have with my girl. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, she believes in me. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So, TJ,
don't be in a rush to get a girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Freak
but
that, bro.
there could possibly be the
I mean,
right
when he
one.
becomes famous, he'll have like 30 million.
A plethora.
So what does it matter
Like
at this
that?
point? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it doesn't matter. That's really good what you said about your girlfriend, because that's the reason why I don't have one. Because a lot of people want to live their lives in a straight line, and I'm trying to shoot for the moon. So we're constantly going to be passing each other up.
I can't believe you just said that. Because, bro, I was just talking to a couple of friends yesterday or last night, and I said I was shooting for them. Like, I'm shooting for the
100%, man. You have to. There's nowhere else but up. So, like,
yes.
The thing is, in a true, like, proper, in my definition, a relationship, depending on what you want to do, if you just want to live your life on the ground, sure, then you can find someone mutually for that. That's cool. You can do that. But if I'm shooting for the moon and I want to go past the stars at this point, and you just want to live your life as like an average person or just normal, at the end of the day, like, we're not going to we're going to miss each other every time. But like what you said, which is super key with you and your girl, is I'm going to assume she's very independent. She probably has things in mind, like in her life and goals and everything like that. And when you both are both shooting for something like a bigger goal in your life, you're going to be getting closer and closer to it in the end. So that's like my problem with finding a girl or a woman or whatever it is. It's not even I can't find a girl. The problem isn't finding the girl. It's finding the right girl, the one that like, I've been spoiled by my family. My sisters are and my mom are super hard workers. Like my sister made her first $1 million this year. So it's kind of like when you see,
congrats.
Yeah. So like, think about this. You literally see one of your like the closest females in your life be such a hard worker, do all this stuff. How am I supposed to get someone that doesn't have that same tenacity as them? Like, obviously I know comparison is the killer of all joy, but dude, like, I'm not going to settle for anything less. Like, you need to you need to either match me or pass me. Because if you're passing me, then I'll be like, damn, I need to work harder and I need to do that stuff. But like, if you're not, what's the point? Like, shoot, like at this point, it'd be like, yeah, like it's cool. We're in a relationship, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's just, we're not motivating each other to like do something greater, which I've seen a lot of relationships do that.
Yeah. A lot of relationships are just like lust filled and,
100%.
Just the guy works hard. I haven't seen too many like girl-dominated relationships. That's just not how the dice roll.
With me, I've seen a lot of, since I work with a lot of models and obviously females that like want to start their business, I've seen the opposite. So like, a lot of like females that want to start their business or have their own business, but then they're literally like significant other is kind of living their life like meh. So they're distracting
with a phone. Probably just watching the photos.
So they're more distracting because then you have this person that like wants to do this big thing in their life, but then their significant other wants to spend time like every other day with them, taking up time and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I've told a friend, I'm like, dude, you need to literally like just not cut off your relationship. Clearly, like they see each other like once a week on the weekends, so that's good. But during their weekday, it's kind of like, I need to get my stuff done. But there's a lot of relationships where I see where I don't tell anybody to break up with anybody. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, you don't say that.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, dude, you know how much more you could be doing if you kind of just went like, okay, let me just do this 110%, and then I'll come back to this later. Like, I consider myself someone with tunnel vision. I only have tunnel vision. I don't have anything else. I only see like this. I don't see anything around me. So it's kind of like if a lot of people did that, if they just put their mind and they just had tunnel vision, you could get so much more done. But it's kind of like when you are looking here and you can just see everything around you, you just get distracted most of the time, which is normal. It's human nature. But it's like, nah, I can't do that. So, but congratulations on having a girlfriend. There you go.
Dude, I made it, brother.
I know. I was going to say congratulations and everything.
This is a great episode, bro.
Of course,
I appreciate you coming by.
Invite me anytime.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Clearly, there's much more to say. So
yeah, of course. We literally live like not too far from each other at this point. Cool. You're like 20 minutes from me, actually.
Beautiful.
The irony. I was like, this guy literally lives near me. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, I'm chilling at this point. I was like, I'm good. So I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I feel like the fact that we're just in close proximity, like, also could mean a lot of things, anyways. So I mean.
We will be in touch, and we will be doing amazing things.
Of course.
Yeah.
Next time we drink with TJ.
With TJ, yeah, we'll do a night. We'll do a night. Maybe go to Tampa. Hell, we could carpool to Tampa. Look at that.
That is 100%. Imagine doing a setup in his apartment. Have you seen his apartment?
Yeah, sick.
His apartment's sick. It's such a bro pad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you set it up, the podcast in there, it'll be like lights.
I've done it before. I've done one live event. It was insane.
That's what I'm saying. So to do that, well, all right. I'll know what to do when I'm done. I'm gonna call TJ if you actually
call him up.
I'll be like, yo, bro, we need to do this right now.
Yeah,
I'll blackmail him. I got you.
Yeah, and I just like I said, I just put in my 2 weeks. Just quit my 9 to 5. So now I have 3 days. I'm gonna be doing shit like the vertical vlog and shit like that. Which I've done, yeah.
You're going 100% though.
Yeah, and I want to do like project like videos. I don't want to do like, this is my breakfast. Look at me. I will never do that. People who have seen my videos before know I don't vlog like that. They're like mini movies, mini stories.
I feel like that would work if you were a female, 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Emma Chamberlain.
Yeah, 100%. Just because I realized a lot of like people. I mean, well, majority of people on the internet, like especially for YouTube, are like males, like statistically speaking. So a lot of men like to project themselves onto like females. So it's kind of like, yeah, like it's easier for like a female to do something just so casually, and then females like it, and then males like it. But then you as a guy, it'll be like, men will sort of like it, and then females, they don't really care about it. So it's kind of like, you know, eating cereal probably won't be the most entertaining thing, but you know, you can always try it to see.
Yeah, this will be the last thing I say. But sorry, Kenneth. Kenneth just called me.
Oh, did he?
He hates it when I run this long.
Wait, how does he know?
I compensate. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Me and him were maybe meeting tonight.
Oh, so I was like, is this live? I was like,
how? Oh, yeah, we're live.
I was like, oh, is this like, how does he even know this is going this long? I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. Damn, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say one more thing. What were we just talking about?
You're talking about cereal. You said this is the last thing. You actually legitimately stopped that. This is the last thing I'm going to say.
It was going to be pretty arbitrary. I'm trying to use bigger vocab words because you've challenged me now.
I'm dead.
Arbitrary? Terry? How do you say that shit?
Arbitrary?
Arbitrary.
Yeah, arbitrary. There you go.
Trary.
I read. That's why I read a little bit.
You really? Okay.
Just a little bit. Not too much, though.
Yeah, where can they find you? Where can the description? It'll be in the description.
Was that what you needed to say?
No, it was something else.
Dang.
But
dude,
I'll save it for the next one.
You're going to kill yourself. You're going to be like, damn.
Yeah.
You're going to remember like 2 minutes after. You're going to be like, what the freak? But you can find me on Instagram at Jimmy Fermin Photography. Really weird name, 100%. I think it's French, so there you go. Pretty cool. Yeah, 100%. And then I guess my website, jimmyfermin.com. Someone didn't buy my name, so I was like, hey, I'm chilling.
Look at that.
So that's where you can find me. And you can see all the fun stuff that I have on there and everything. You know, if you came from the podcast, just write in one of my comments, be like, yo, you look cute with those glasses. Yeah. Just something like, and then I'll be like, okay, this person came or something like that. So yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
By the way, I just remembered it.
Oh, you did? Oh, perfect. Yeah. Go.
We're so close. Sorry, Kenneth. Before, it was funny that you brought up the whole girl and guy, like what they consume, like the content.
Oh, the immature relationship thing.
My podcast, when I was like 25 episodes in, this is a fact, I screenshotted it because I knew nobody would believe me, was 55% female.
Oh, it's actually really good.
Yeah, and apparently, I guess, the podcasts are a more female fan base, which also surprised me. But now I had not recently, a couple of weeks ago, I had this clip that kind of got an outrageous amount of views, like a sort of viral clip. And then after that, now it's plagued and it's like down to like 8% female and the rest is male because of the clip. And I was like, my audience is about like 75% female, bring it back,
5% male. And I was like, yes. Thank you. I was like 100%. I love having a huge female audience because the people that are going to hire me in the end are females.
Females, yeah.
100%. So I was like, if I get like actually a lot of guys, I start manually making them like unfollow me. 100%. Because the thing is, like, you can see even from their page what kind of guy they are. Like if they're just in it for like to see the body, and I don't want to see no comments of just this girl got a nice body. So I don't care about the following. I'll just be like, yep, we're taking you out. We're taking you out. We're taking you out. Just because if I see anything goofy, like I want to make a space super safe for females.
Gotcha.
So that's why like a lot of the people that comment on in my posts are females in the end, because they'd be like, oh my gosh. So, and I love that. Like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Like go about it that way. And plus, like, obviously the people that are going to be paying me, hiring me, doing all this stuff are usually females,
right?
100% all the time. So yeah.
Gotcha. Well, if you didn't know him, you know him now. And if you knew him, you love him.
There you go. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
hey,
anytime.
that's perfect.
We'll do it again.
Yes.